Check 1, 2. Let's go. Let's go. Yo, welcome into the stream. Yo, welcome in. How are you feeling today? Yo, let's see. We're up, we're running. Check 1, 2. Sophia's in the building. What's up, Sophia? Welcome in. I think I see everything running. Let's go. Yo, welcome into the stream. Welcome in. If y'all are joining the live stream on any of the 3 platforms that we are live on right now, please do me a favor. Let me know where you are joining from, as well as if you make music, what kind of music you make. Kite is in the building. Bagboy's in the building. Bagboy Millie's in the building as well. End Effector, welcome in. Derek Bennett's in the building. Derek, let me get you straight up on the list. Actually, in fact, I think I still have it right here. Welcome in. Shay Grace, welcome in. Let's go. Thank y'all so much for tapping into the stream today. I appreciate it so much. Let me find it here really quick. Got you. Boom. You're on the list and off the other list. Tommy's in the building. Caesar's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tapping into the stream today. I appreciate y'all so much. If you're over on TikTok, make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Thank you for the heart me. Derek, I appreciate that so much. Share out the live with a few people. And just like Derek did, don't forget to send in your heart me for the day. It does really help out the stream quite a bit. Erica Hart's back in the building. What's up, Erica? Welcome back in. GPNA, welcome in as well. Tommy's in here. Let's go. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. I don't have a whole lot of time, so we're going to try to move at a good pace here. So if y'all could do me a huge favor, tap the screen like crazy. Let's get it up to 2,000 likes. Let's get things moving here. We're gonna get things flowing here in just a moment, y'all. Give me 1 second to get Derek up on the board. Derek, I got you. Let me put you over sober right now in the same spot. Minded Driven, welcome in. Your birthday is Monday, dude. If you happen to tap in, definitely let us know, man. Definitely let us know. I know you'll be busy. You'll be doing fun stuff, way more fun stuff than what we're doing. Deb, thank you for the heart me. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for hopping in. Mind the Drive is in the building. Mind the Drive. So good to see you. Thank you for tapping in again. It's good to see you in here. Don, thanks for tapping in. Leo's in the building. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll explain the live stream in just a second. We're gonna be on for just like 2 or 3 hours. It's gonna be pretty quick today. I'm gonna try to get through about 5 songs. So we're gonna get flowing here in just a moment. Derek, I got you up on the board. I should already have your email ready to go. I just want to say what's up to people for just another 2 minutes, and then we'll get things moving in just a second. Orphan Medina, thanks for tapping in as well. Let me double check a few things here. Let me just make sure. Okay, beautiful. No. You're totally good. Is it Lucas? You're totally good. No, not a problem at all. To hang out for a little bit. Orphan, thank you so much for the love you. I appreciate that so much. And thank you, Orphan, for the follow as well. I appreciate that a lot. Ghosted is in the building. I am an artist. That's not what I do for a living, but I am an artist myself. If y'all ever feel up to it, you can look up Torvik on all platforms. Then you can find some of just my personal music, but that's not the thing that I necessarily do for a living or as a career. But thank you so much. I appreciate that a lot. We're going to get moving with some music here in just like 2 minutes, y'all. In 2 minutes. Gareth is in the building. Thank you. Torvik, just like my name. In fact, if you go to my link tree, you can find my music there. It should say listen to Torvik or something like that. If you go to my link tree, you can see all the details there. Deb, thank you so much for tapping in as well. Settings, I would love to. Y'all, we're in like 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I'll explain the structure of the live stream. We'll get everything moving. I'll explain where to submit if y'all are wanting to submit, all of that fun stuff. Thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate the lot. Thank y'all for the heart me's. That means so much to me. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Let me update a few things over here. Let me make sure that my email is updated over on this other computer really quick. Maylee, welcome back into the chat. It's good to see you. Like I said, y'all, I'm going to be on for probably about 2 or 3 hours. It's going to be a shorter live stream. I'm aiming for about 5 or 6 songs. Is it Miles Z? Thank you so much for hopping in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. I have not listened to Cattle Decapitation. I never have. With my recent one is getting 250 streams per day. Yeah, I think it kind of depends on what you're looking to get out of it. If you are looking to optimize on movement that you're getting on either the platform itself or socially on social media, then you definitely can capitalize on that. But it also just kind of depends on what you're looking to do. If you want to hammer home that song, which a lot of people would recommend, and I could recommend sometimes too, or if you want to build out a catalog that people enjoy that has to do kind of relative to that song. It really just depends on what you're looking for. I don't want to kill the previous song, but when you won't kill it, if people like it, like a lot of content is evergreen. I would just keep posting. I wouldn't kill it, so I would just keep posting about that song, right? So if you're posting, let's say you're just as an example, let's say you're posting about that song every day. Right now, you can move on to another song and still post about that song once a week, right? Like you can still like move on to another song, keep that song going for once a week, and start to cycle through old songs that you drop off as you create new ones. But I mean, it kind of depends on if you're still in the process of building catalog or if you have a large back catalog already behind you. Like if you got 40 songs out on platforms and SoundCloud and different stuff like that, then you shouldn't have to worry about people. You shouldn't have to worry about people, missing out on you or anything like that. 70,000 streams on Spotify with 250 streams a day. That's great, man. That's great. Okay, give me 2 seconds, y'all. Let me get everything updated here. Let me throw the line up on the red and purple app. I got Derek in the building. I'll keep everything current right now because we have people that are going to hop in from yesterday. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit more short and sweet today. I'm actually going to go ahead and pull a few people. I am on the, we call it the red app, the cryptic TikTok language, the red app. And the purple app, we're also streaming over there if y'all want to see the line and all that fun stuff. It's the same string on the purple app as it is on the red app, just so y'all know. The only difference would be ads that you get on the purple app every once in a while, which of course you can remove if you subscribe, but there's no pressure for that as well. Okay, let me see a couple things here really, really quick. That should be all current. Oh yeah, all right, y'all. We're at 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Let's get it. Okay, let's dive in. Welcome in, Erica. I see you over on the red app. Thank you so much for hopping in. Okay, y'all, really, really quick. I'm going to get through the spiel pretty quick here before we dive into the music. Again, I'm moving quick today. I'm going to try to get through as much music as I can within the time frame that I have, which again is like 2 to 3 hours. It's going to be short and sweet. I take a long time on these songs, and that's not going to change because I want you to get value, but it just means that we're going to take fewer songs today. And then I will potentially be live again tomorrow. I'm not positive, but I might be live for a little bit tomorrow afternoon. We'll just see. My weekend's going to be a little bit all over the place. Swamsy's in the building. What's up, Swamsy? Okay, so really, really quick, for those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the family. This is an amazing, amazing community of musicians and artists and producers. What we do here at Track Talk are 20 to 30-minute consultations on the structure of your music. So we are going to spend, like I said, 20 to 30 minutes listening to your song, usually 2 to 3 different times, to chop through the structure, get into the details of your mix and master, production elements, sound design, structure and choices, getting into song formatting and song structure. We're going to get really, really deep into the nuances of what you're doing creatively. The goal is to offer professional, practical, and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. So if that is something that you're interested in, I can give you some details on where to go and stuff like that here in just a few minutes. But just so y'all know, this is not a quick review. This is not a trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. This is strictly about getting into the details and the nuance of your music. I am not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. Not at all. I consider myself to be a fairly kind person, but I'm also not here to hype you up. I'm not here to just give you exposure. If that happens throughout the course of the live and you get fans of your music, fantastic, but it's not at all my priority. It's not the thing that I'm going to focus on. That's not the goal of this live stream. If you get exposure, fantastic. If people fall in love with your sound, fantastic. But that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to offer actionable feedback, to get into the details of your music, and hopefully give you some tools to help you polish the structure of your music. Derek, he roasts me all the time. That's not true. That's not true. In fact, Derek's coming up right now. Maybe we will, who knows? But for those of you who don't know as well, my name's Torvik. I am a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. Done that for 13 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist. So the whole structure of this live stream is from that perspective. It's not just, like I said, give you a trash or pass and a rating and a poll and then just move on from there. It's to really get into the details of your music and give you some actionable feedback. So if you are interested in that, feel free to, for one, just hang out in the chat. We're live on 3 platforms right now. TikTok, of course, right here, and also the red and purple app. Use your imagination. The red and purple app is also where you can see the line. I can show the DAW. I can show some other angles here in the studio and stuff like that in order to help y'all kind of build out some things that might be, beneficial for you to see. And let me see. I think that's about it. But if you want to submit, if you're on TikTok, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. If you are on the red app, go to the description for the live stream and tap on the link from there. If you're on the purple app, type !submit right there in the chat, and you'll see everything that you need to send in your music. Okay. Carolina, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Kev, thank you for the heart me as well. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are amazing. Let me exit out of this really quick. Let me get this back up to speed. My wife roasts me enough. I'm sensitive. Daniel, it makes all the sense in the world. Makes all the sense in the world. Okay, give me 2 seconds to make sure that I'm caught up, and then make sure that I have everything in order over here on the other apps. Let's see. I actually got roasted. Trust. It was very honest but kind and humble. Thank you so much, Deb. I appreciate that a lot. That is always going to be my goal. Let me see. Let me just make sure. What's up, Jenna? Welcome in. Welcome in. Okay, I think I got everything. Yeah, absolutely. Any genre, any level of preparedness, any language, doesn't matter to me at all. Again, it's going to be strictly about the music, so it's not about my bias for a certain genre or anything like that. It's really just to get into the details and the nuances of what you're doing, no matter what the genre is. Erica, is going to try to live stream our recording session on Sunday? Oh, beautiful! I love that, Erica. That's going to be fun. If for whatever reason, is it Copen Matthew? It's just a weird TikTok thing. I don't know why it does that. It's probably some weird regional limitations. I'm not sure why it randomly does that. Real talk, thank you for the follow. If for whatever reason you can't see the link, then just find Torvik Music on Instagram. It's the same, profile and everything. It's the same link right there. If you click on that link, it'll take you all to the same places. Once again, just click on Track Talk Submission. You'll see everything that you need right there. All right, y'all. Let's go. We're gonna get straight into the music today. We are not messing around. I'm gonna try to move at a good pace while still doing these full 20 to 30 minute consultations, which sometimes end up longer because I like to talk. I like to rant, and my brain goes all over the place. So I'm going to do my best to be somewhat concise today, since I don't have a whole lot of time. And we're going to kick it off with Derek Bennett today. So Derek Bennett, hop in the chat. Just let me know that you are currently in the chat. And let's get into it. And if you're on TikTok, please make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Make sure y'all are sharing out the live with a few people, and make sure that you send in your harmony for the day. It does genuinely help out the stream quite a bit. There's Derek Bennett right there. I had your track clicked yesterday, so let me just make sure I got it right here. All right, beautiful. And Derek, I'll get the details here, actually. All right, this is Derek Bennett. I've heard thousands of Derek songs, it feels like. I've heard tons of Derek's music, so I know a little bit more about kind of what he's going for and stuff like that. So we'll kind of look at this from that perspective. Let's see, wrote this song a while ago. Updated the structure and production here recently, as I've been doing. Looking for feedback before I actually go forward with release. Okay, beautiful. So it says demo phase. Have you gotten any early mixes on this, or is this still pretty fresh and it has not been sent to engineering yet / distribution? Let me know. This is The Fall. This is The Fall by Derek Bennett. No mix yet. Beautiful. Will Hogan, welcome into the live stream. I appreciate you being here. Let's dive in. Derek Bennett. The song is called The Fall. Let me get it downloaded, and let's get into it. Once again, if you want to submit your music for a 20 to 30 minute deep dive consultation, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. It's downloaded. It's time. Let's get it.
Shadows stretch across this land, stone and iron built by man, locked inside the city waits, while we march in silence. 7 days around we tread, trumpets voice, no worries said, hearts are pounding, doubts arise, as we march round and round. Step by step,
Carolina, I got you. Thank you.
Shadows dance as destiny awaits. Trumpets rise, the time is near. Faith is not an end of fear. Shout! The walls are falling down. Feel the thunder shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the waves come crashing down. Whispering in my ear, where's your strength? Where's your fight? Faith is louder than my fear. Victory is already here. 7 days around we tread. Trumpets boys, no word is said. Every kingdom raised in pride falls before the Lord Most High. thunder, shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the waves come crashing down.
I like the delayed hits there. That's nice.
Feel the thunder shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the waves come crashing down. Walls are falling down. Feel the thunder shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the waves come crashing down. The walls are down. Shout. The victory's ours. Shout. The battle's won. Shout. The war is done. Shout. The walls are down. Shout. The victory's ours. Shout. The battle's won. Shout. The war is done.
Let's go. Y'all give it up one time for Derek Bennett. Give it up one time for Derek Bennett. Tiberius, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream. I appreciate you hopping in. Let's get straight into it. Let's run it from the top and let's dive into this track. This song is called The Fall by Derek Bennett. Let's run it from the top and let's get into some of the details. Just quick note, we've talked about this a little bit before, but just before you send this demo out for engineering, I would get a better balance on the premix just so that you are really clear with where you want certain elements, right? So it's a bit more clear exactly where you want the engineer placing things and having things positioned balance-wise and amplitude-wise and stuff like that. I would get like the vocal back by like 2 or 3 dB, get the drums forward by like 4 or 5 dB. The drums are back pretty far in the structure of this mix, which again is like fine as you're creating it, but I would definitely want to work on that. I wanted production finished before I go there. 100%. So I would, and to me, it also, if you don't have things, Fabiola, thank you so much for the follow. If you don't have things balanced early on, even when in production phases, you can often, we've talked about this before too many times, but you can often take away or add things that don't need to be taken away or added to the mix based on the fact that things are just imbalanced, right? So it can be really helpful to just like, there might be other percussion elements you have in there. There might be other like production structure elements that you have in there that don't necessarily need to be, changed or morphed into anything else, but you just have things so far back in the mix that you're adding in elements to busy it up that would just be filled in the gaps if the crash cymbals were forward with the rest of the percussion structure. Hello, Gwen, my fellow SAS listener. Welcome back, friend. I appreciate you hopping. I'm never going to live that down. It's horrible. I was tired. I was very, very tired last night. All right, let's get into it from the top. But I do think it's really important as you're building out your production structure to make sure that you're not adding things that don't need to be added just because there's an imbalance, right? Or that the gain staging hasn't been set in a way that you can actually just hear all of the different elements distinctly in the mix. So that'd be one thing that I would suggest early on. Really quick, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. Phoebe, welcome in. Thank you so much for tapping in. I'm already going to, since it is a short stream today. I'm going to go ahead and update minimums really quickly just because I don't have a whole lot of time. Yes, you did. I got you, Caroline. You must have been out of the stream when I mentioned it. I got you. You're up on the board, ready to go. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to update minimums for new people that are coming in, just because I do want to make sure that I can try to get to as many of y'all as possible in the short time that I have. So please just make sure that y'all are keeping an eye on the orders. Keep an eye out over on the other red and purple apps, if you know what I mean. That way that you can see the line, the order, the minimums, and stuff like that as we go. Because I don't have a whole lot of time today, so I want to try to move at a good pace and try to get through as many of y'all as possible. Of course, Carolina. Thank you so much for sending that in. Let me see, Copen. Let me double check for you really quick too. I think that's you right there. I think. Oh, let me see. So no worries at all. Not a problem at all. I'm not worried about the language. Is your are the initials KE? Matthews. I think it's Matthews in here, right? Are the initials KE? Is that you? Or is that someone else? Let me see. Let me double check over here real quick. Oh, that might be someone else. No, I've got you, Copen, I've got you. So let me know who KE is again, just really quick. If that's your initials and you just sent in, just remind me really quick. That's probably you. I think that's you. Okay. Give me a quick second. We'll see who's in from yesterday too, because I have some people that are here that I want to make sure that I get through. But the line's pretty stacked. So I have updated things, y'all. So please just make sure you keep an eye on the list. Copen, I got you. Let me get you moved up. And Kev, I got you as well. Yeah, I got your other one though. I got you through the website. I just saw 2 notifications coming back to back right there. So let me get that on there. Let me get Kev. I got you. Kev, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that a lot. Copen, I appreciate you. Thank y'all for your submissions, man. I appreciate that a lot. I'm going to go ahead and let me see. Give me 1 second to just edit some things here to make sure I've got this where I need it. Let me get this over here. Almost 10K. Y'all are amazing. 6.1K. Thank y'all so much for the taps on the screen. I mean so much. Thank you for that. All right, got Markiel saved. Okay, we'll start there. All right, y'all. Let's get into the details of it. That's my gut reaction though. Is just I want you to get the best possible output from your mix, which means the best possible early stage demo and source and stuff like that, right? So I just want to make sure that you're not adding noise and busyness as you go through your production process, just because there's things that you're not hearing, and then it all gets pushed forward in the mix, and you end up with these really like loud, busy, noisy mixes, just because all of the things that were kind of hiding into the background of the structure of your production all then get pushed forward, because all of a sudden you take this mix with, you know, different arpeggios for your synthesis, different string sequences and stuff like that, you know, busy percussion structures, vocals and layering and ad-libs and stuff like that, and then push those drums forward, you're going to end up with a bit of noise. Nate, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you a lot. What do you think about all the AI stuff these days? I got lots of thoughts, and I do talk about it quite a bit because people ask of course, it's one of the most popular questions. I do talk about it quite a bit. I'm moving a little bit faster today, Nate. If I have a bit of a chance to talk more about that, I definitely will, but I'm going to try to get through these consultations a little bit faster. I have my thoughts, but there are a lot of thoughts, and they have a lot of nuance to them. It's not so black and white for me. So I'll try to do maybe I'll post a couple videos about that, just because I have a lot of thoughts, but they're a bit more nuanced than I feel like today I specifically have the time. I was on for like 5 hours yesterday. I could answer a lot more questions, but today I'm moving a little bit faster, so I'm sorry about that. All right, Derek, let's get into this song. I do need to post more videos on it though, because it's probably one of the most asked questions that I get asked. People hopping into the stream and they're like, AI thoughts, and it's like, okay, here we go. Buckle up. This is a big one. This is a question. I use it myself, but mainly just plug in my own lyrics. Yeah, that's what most people say. That's what most people say for sure. All right, this is The Fall by Derek Bennett. Let's get into it. Let's get it. If you want to submit, y'all go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. But please check the line first. Orders are updated. The minimums are updated, so I want to make sure that it's clear for everybody if you're coming in to submit, just because it is a shorter live today. I like how dark and heavy. I have a lot of thoughts on AI. Yeah, I need to do a whole YouTube video. Honestly, it's not even something I could like answer, and like that's why I end up like talking about it for 30 minutes every time I get asked, because it's a lot. There's a lot of nuance to it, to the creative side to it, to the ethical side of it, to the legal side of it, to the like industry structure side of it. There's so much to it that it's hard to just like have like, what is your thoughts? That's not a 20-second answer. There's a lot of them. But I do love how like dark and heavy the intro to this song feels. I think it was Erica over on the Red App said, loving it, very dark fantasy movie vibes. 100%. Whoop, why did that change? What the heck? Hold on. It just switched your song. They don't want to play it.
Shadows stretch across this land, stone and iron built by man. Locked inside the city waits, while we march in silence. 7 days around we tread, trumpets voice, no worries said. Hearts are pounding, doubts arise as we march round.
Thank you so much, Deb. I appreciate you.
Step by step we make our way to the gate. Shadows dance as steps stand me awaits. Trumpets rise, the time is
Okay, here's my quick recommendation. Largely, I know most of the things it's going to get mixed, so I'm not too worried about breaking down a lot of the mix structure of it, because I know that's already going to happen, and we can come back around to that once that has taken place. Just because it hasn't happened yet, so there's nothing to necessarily critique about it. Some say Torvik should go into modeling. Don't be out here lying though. Time Mine, you got some good jokes, but ain't nobody saying that. Ain't nobody saying that. Okay, let me back it up just a little bit. Okay, here's my gut instinct on production structure more than anything, right? Production structure, because I know that's probably primarily what you're here for this particular song. As far as production structure goes, the thing that I'm kind of not concerned with, because I know you can knock this out, is soft production. Like as far as like transients and energy and like punch goes, soft production structure with like heavy aesthetic. So heavy, let's shout. Yeah, this really high energy, high vocal over a really like grungy, fried, low vocal as well. And then you have like, heavier metal drums, open crash, halftime beat, right? You get a lot of energy, percussion, and vocal. Everything else in the middle to me is a little bit flat. Now, what it does is fine, but I do think that like, what the strings are doing and what some of the low bass and stuff is doing is fine in the beat. But I do feel like you need Torvik. I do feel like you need one or two elements in here to give us some tension and give us some drive, since everything is very like acoustic and softer, right? A little bit more organic. I'm going to back it up here just a little bit, but we need like a growly synth, pad synth bass in there, a stack of saws in there. We need a heavy electric guitar power chord to kind of support it underneath it. Like we need some drive there. We need some energy, because you got opened up metal drums and a kind of fried high vocal over a low grungy vocal as well. Like we need a little bit of drive under there to, I think, support it. Otherwise it's going to feel very distinct, like very separate of like, here's a vocal and the drums kind of doing the same song, and everything else that is just kind of a cinematic, like orchestral score. And we need something to bridge the gap, because the cinematics can work fabulously in a song like this, but we do need something to kind of bridge that gap and make them feel that they're connected. Can definitely add some synth stuff. 100%. That'd be my like gut recommendation beyond like the early balancing that we're talking about of like, Georgina, welcome in. Good to see you. Beyond just like balancing the elements so that your demo is a little bit cleaner, going to the engineer so everything's positioned properly, I would definitely add like one or two more. Like I wouldn't mind electric and a synth. I think you could really build out your structure in a way that feels really, really cohesive. But I would prioritize growl. I would prioritize tension, prioritize drive. So not everything is like soft stacks on cello or soft stabs on like cello, like spiccatos and pizzicatos and stuff like that are giving you some punch. They're giving you some edge right there, but they're not necessarily like filling out the middle of the mix with tension and drive. I would prioritize that for sure. Thank you, Carolina. I appreciate that so much. Melinda, it has been a long. I feel like it's been like a year or two. Thank you so much. OG Nate, thank you for the follow. You think I could get away with no electric guitar if you fill in? So yeah, like here's what I would say. What do I have on here? I'm going to switch to Pro Tools over on the Red app if y'all feel like hopping over there just for 2 seconds. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. But here's what I'm thinking. Right? OG Nate is back. Let's see. I'm going to. Oh, that's got a piano. Based on higher something. Yeah. I think you can kind of use your imagination for it too, but just for the sake of kind of showing you like. That's crazy. Where's my modulation at here? Do. So like here, like just to give you like the quickest example without like spending too much time on it. I'm just going to throw up, like, we're going to use a Jupiter 8 and I'm going to throw up like a bunch of like harmonics on it. Right. So you can, what's fun about this is you can even like run this through like two. So I can use like the little tube here. We're going to go high sensitivity. And that's crazy, right? But like, and if I were to go here, I'm gonna bring this down a little bit and you could filter this more, again, just for the sake of kind of showing you what I'm talking about in context. That's not the song. What are we doing here? I'm soloing all the wrong things. I'm gonna keep all these soloed. 10K, thank y'all. 11K already. Y'all are amazing. Thank y'all for the likes, y'all. Let me get back to the demo here, right? So you're an A minor.
Trumpets rise, the time is near. Faith is not a man of faith. Shout! The walls are falling down. Feel the thunder shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the walls come crashing down.
Obviously, without any balance to the mix, it's just like building out a low octave. You hear how the distortion like modulates and it moves in and out of this as the signal of this, in this case, this bass synth modulates as it moves in and out of amplitude, as you get some of that beating right there. It's feeding different levels of signal into the tubes right here. So you get this nice little broken up wobbly. Here it kind of moves around a little. It's like nasty, it's grungy, it's got tension to it, right? So you got an idea. And of course, you stack that with a guitar over the top of it. You stack it with like an overdriven saw, 2 or 3 layers, unison saws over the top to get this edge and get this energy. It's just gonna open up your track quite a bit, right? So in that case, that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, let's take what you have here, balance it so it's good as a premix, and then add elements that can fill in the gaps. But it's hard to know where to fill in gaps. Thank you for the lightning, Deb. I appreciate you so much. It's difficult to understand where to fill in gaps or what a track needs if those elements aren't kind of pre-balanced to an extent or mixed as you go. Because then you lose sight of the plot a little bit sometimes, and it's hard to know where do I need additional energy or where's there way too much energy? Because once the engineer gets a hold of it and pushes everything forward and compresses things and balances it, you're like all of a sudden, like, I didn't even realize half those things were there. Now it feels really, really muddy. So that's why that pre-mix is really important. All right, let's skip a little bit forward here.
Where's your strength? Where's your fight? Faith is louder than my fear. Victory.
Yeah. That makes sense. Makes sense.
Here. 7 days around we tread. Trumpets voice, no word is said. Every kingdom raised in pain.
The structure. Oh, Jesus. What's going on here? It's like playing 4 different tracks at the same time. I don't mind the structure of this. It's a really, really consistent vocal. Over the A minor. It's very, very monotone vocal structure. I don't mind that from a stance of like building tension and building some anticipation. What I would say, just as not even with a specific correction, but as a note, just make sure as you get into like your first revisions or like your first mixes on this and like really balancing this out, just be aware, keep your ear on if things become too monotonous over the long term. If there's not a lot of like movement and flow and dynamic range and like, movement within the dynamics of the song, if it stays too rigid or it stays too monotone, and by monotone, I don't even mean like just boring, but like literally one tone, one note, mono note, then I feel like we have to be careful on the production side to make sure that there's like new information that comes in. If the vocal is going to be really, really locked into that one note, which is not specifically a negative thing, usually I would have a little bit more melodic variation, but in this case, I'm not mad at it. It kind of just depends on what you're going for. Catch, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. And Deb, thank you so much for the gifts. You're so generous. I appreciate that a lot. I would make sure that if you're not going to have a lot of melodic variation in the vocal, make sure that there's some interesting elements that like support it within the production that make it feel really interesting without it being too muddy. A new track is getting played on the BBC radio tomorrow night. Let's go, Georgina. That's amazing. If you want to submit, you can. I just encourage everyone. It's a shorter live today, so please keep your eye out on the line. It's It's over on the red or purple app if you want to. That way you can see the order, the line, the minimum, all of that good stuff. But that's amazing. Congrats to you. Fantastic. All right, let's keep it going. We're doing consultations for artists, producers, engineers, musicians, songwriters, all of the above. So we're spending about 30 minutes, breaking down songs, listening to them a couple times, digging into mix and production details, songwriting structure, things like that, and really diving into the nuance of whoever song we're listening to in all different genres. And that's the whole structure of what we're doing here. Baby Blue, welcome back in.
The walls are falling down. Feel the thunder shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the world
I'm kind of, hold on. Let me hear this hook again. I'm listening for this high vocal as well. Dun-dun. You're telling me I need to have a chat with you about. Thank you so much, Georgina. I appreciate that a lot. Genuinely, that means so much to me. You're very kind.
Face to
Let me hear this hook again.
pause before the Lord Most High. The walls are falling down.
Da, 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 da. Let me hear. Who's the high vocal right there? Is that Mangus?
Face to face, pause before the Lord Most High. The walls are falling down.
Those are falling. So he goes into the harmony. He goes from a lead double with the fry to a low harmony there off the on the A minor. Oh, it's an octave down on the A minor. So those are falling down. No. Let me hear where his lead goes from there. The balance.
Feel the thunder shake the ground.
Thunder shake the ground. So then his lead vocal matches the harmony there. So it starts out with the lead vocal shout, dun, 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 and then follows the melody on the second half here. Based on the, again, this comes back to just like energy, balance, like what is driving this song, what's gonna make you feel it. His low register is so powerful. It's really, really good. Like I love so much about it. Like I have no issues with this vocal at all. The thing that I'm listening for is just energy and the structure of the song and how that's going to be presented in the mix. I'm just worried, same as when we've talked with Emmy Smith's vocals as well. Phenomenal vocalist, great writer, great, all of the above, all so good, that it's so prominently in the low register of the vocal that it loses the actual energy and the actual like diaphragmatic support that it takes to like feel the emotion in the song, because he's so stuck on walls are closing down, da, 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 whatever. Like he's stuck with this tension down here that you can't really project it and emote it in the way that I feel like would allow the listener and the audience to feel the emotion to the max. I am kind of the mindset here. I'm hearing his harmonies. I'm hearing the melody change that he goes to over the vocal. I don't know exactly what all he executes in the background there. I don't know if he's doing every phrase or every word or if he's just accenting. I'm not positive. Reba Rice, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I would love... I feel like every time I hear like a word, I feel like I'm singing his vocal. It's so good. It's really, really good. I want his... I feel like we run into this all the time. I want the background vocal to be the lead vocal. Like when I go from this low verse, it's got like all this low energy, all this support, all of this, growl to it. I want him to just switch to I want that to be the lead. He's got it there. It's in the background. He has the range for it. He could comp it and fade it. He's got the range for it. That to me gives me so much more life. That gives me like so much more energy than him being stuck. There's just so much more restraint. There's so much more restraint that I don't feel it. I hear a cool vocal. But it's restrained by his register and it's restrained by his ability to project it, right? So I would highly recommend. Donnie's in the building. Donnie, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you getting in here. I think he has a high, so that's what I'm talking about. He has the double that he has here in the background, and then it's a harmony. In my opinion, I just kind of want that to be the lead, because when I hear that over this, the walls are coming down. And then push that forward by like 6 dB, make that your lead vocal, bring it back to mono in the center, and support it by the low vocal. So now he has a powerful vocal fry, like, almost fry scream lead vocals. You could stack that with gain vocals, and then you back that up with his amazing low register. There's nothing wrong with the low register. It just needs to be supportive, not the lead, I think, right? So if he has a powerful, punchy, like just really, really dynamic lead vocal, and you support it by a really beautiful low octave layer, now you've got like amazing vocal structure, amazing vocal production, and it like makes sense with the energy of the production. Like I said before, you got metal drums and then like this really vibrant cinematic production, but then like no mid-tone growl from like synths or guitars, and no high vocal that's actually like prominent in the mix, you're just missing out. You're missing out on a lot of energy and a lot of potential like emoting that could happen in this song. So my recommendation is just do a little swap, a little TLC swap, you know what I'm saying, with that lead vocal with the background, and then add in some midtones that allow the song to really, really drive. I think if you do that and balance the structure of the mix leading into mixing, balance the structure of the production leading into mixing, I think you're going to be in a fantastic spot, because the structure of the song is great. The vocals are awesome. You got good lyric structure and stuff like that. But I definitely feel like it needs the support. Let me get into the last 30 seconds here. I'm doing better today, y'all. I'm still talking a shit ton, but I'm a little bit more concise. Let me catch up on just a few comments here and just make sure that I am doing what I need to do. Make sure that I'm reading everyone here. Donnie, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for tapping in. You have an amazing mind and the way you're feeling it. Thank you, Carolina. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you. Jenna, thank you for the support. Jenna, you're awesome. I appreciate you a lot too. You want to critique my first single? Dude, I would love to. People do that all the time. If you want to send it in, just go to my profile, click on the link, click on track talk submission, and just read through and follow all the steps. We'll get you up on the board, but I do recommend that you check the line first. It's on the red or purple app. The red app is YT, the other one that we watch videos on. I'm live on all of these different platforms. That's where you can see the line and stuff. That way you can see kind of where everyone's at, and you can see the minimums, because the minimums are being updated, because I only have time for like 3 or 4 more songs. It's gonna be pretty quick today, and then I'll go longer another time. Okay, let me get into the outro here. You good with the vocal instrumental with the female vocal? Yeah, let me wait. Is that before this? Let me see, because yeah, I do remember that as well. Advice for a radio station releasing tomorrow. What music would be good? I mean, I guess it depends on who you want to target. You know, I think like more importantly for a radio station is understanding your audience, right? Like, where are you going to get your audience? How are you going to market to your audience? How are you going to bring people in? And what kind of music does that audience listen to? So there's probably a bit more nuance to that answer. I think maybe tomorrow afternoon, Jenna, maybe. I'm not positive. I also just need to I've been working on so many projects and I've been live almost every day for at least a couple hours after projects and stuff. So I've got to rest my ears a little bit too, but I'll probably be on for a little bit. And then here, yeah. So the same thing, like with the choir structure here. Mikhail, welcome in. The choir structure here and a lot of the other things that are going on in the background. I would just, like we talk about other times as well, making sure that if you don't have a lead vocal here, that you have a lead element that allows your energy to push forward a little bit more. Kurtzman, welcome in. I would just use those strings that use that as your lead element. Right now they're nice and wide. Like, just, I would probably push those forward with the choirs to create all of this energy, right? So it's just trading lead elements. There's no vocal, but the strings are fantastic. So just push that whatever. That's not the arpeggio, but you get the idea. Like, keep that structure forward, keep it loud. That becomes your lead vocal in that moment, and then you can back off of those for a second in order to get the vocals back into play after that.
Thunder, shake the ground. The earth is trembling. Let the world come crashing down.
What female vocal are you referring to? Am I missing one in the mix? Maybe. Rest of the instrumental I like, though. I like the structure of it. It just needs positioning and the balance that you're already going to do going into your mix. Or are you just talking about adding it? Marina's, welcome in, man. Good to see you. I hope you're doing amazing. I like the build up at the outro here too. It's in that breakdown. That's a female vocal, not a. Oh yeah, love that. Yeah. So yeah, exactly what I just said. Push all that forward. Let those be the lead elements. Push the female vocal forward. Push those strings forward. Give it some energy. Behind the scene, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Yeah. I would probably, in my opinion, right now, I think the reason why I thought it was a choir, because it's incredibly reverberated with a really, really big reverb. I would love to actually hear a cleaner vocal, actually, like maybe a layer. So you could have one, maybe even just duplicate, have a layer of that vocal that's just completely choired out and layered and modulated, a bunch of reverb and stuff like that. And then have a lead one over the top that gives you that kind of, just has like a high, high female vocal over the top that is a little bit drier, maybe still pretty reverberated, but a little bit drier. So you get some of the punch and the energy that you're looking for. Huey G, thank you for the heart. Me, I appreciate you so much. But I like that. I love those strings right there. I love the instrumental. The breakdown is great. You just need an element to come forward to kind of take over the energy of the track right there. For me, that would be the background strings that you have. Make those prominent, and maybe have a vocal that cuts to a little bit more right there to give you the energy and the punch that you're looking for in that C section kind of right there. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love. That is the family. Derek Bennett. Derek, you know, I say this every single time. We love you to death, man. You're so talented. You're a great composer. Yeah, I buried in a reverb, and I don't mind that, but you might want another layer that's a little bit cleaner that lets people know what's there. If you want to have like kind of a choir underneath and a lead vocal over the top, or just clarify that lead vocal a little bit, maybe EQ the reverb slightly so you get a little bit of extra clarity and distinction from that vocal from the rest of the strings and pads and stuff like that. But you're a beast, man. Such a talented producer. This guy's like writing and producing a song like every single day at this point. He's moving like an animal. He's so talented. Really, really, really well done, man. I appreciate you sending that in so much. And his birthday's on Monday, so y'all make sure y'all are following him. That's his birthday present. Follow him, and if you happen to come into the live, man, I'll definitely help you, man. I appreciate you so much. He's been here for years, under different bands and under his solo projects as well. 2 new songs out today as well, so please go check out Derek Bennett. Testament Worship. Check out Derek's stuff as well, the solo stuff. Make sure you're following him and work with him. If you want cinematic, production structure, you want like metal production structure and stuff like that, definitely check him out. Brett's in the building. What's up, Brett? But y'all, one more time for the family. Testament Worship. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Keep it going. If you want to submit, go to my profile. Go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Looking for clients. Hit them up. Click on Track Talk Submission. Read through and follow all of the steps, including making sure that you check the line over on the Red app. It's just YT. You got to be cryptic on TikTok. Go check out the Red app. That way you can see the line, the order, the minimum, so on and so on, and make sure that you see the minimum, just because I'm not going to be on for super long today, so I want to make sure I get to as many people as possible. Okay, let's get into it. Let me see really quick, because we had a couple people come in from yesterday. Sober, let me know if you're in the building. Sober or Mead, let me know if you're in the building. Yeah, once again, if you do want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. And for those of you who don't know, these are 20 to 30-minute long-form consultations. This is not a quick review. This is not a trash or pass. There's no rating or poll. This is a long-form, 20 to 30-minute multiple-listen breakdown to get into the structure of your mix, production, sound design, lyric and song structure, so on and so on. Diana Keys, thank you so much for tapping into the stream. Have a great night as well, Derek. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you. I know you sent this in yesterday. Thank you for your patience and getting it heard as well, man. I appreciate you a lot. All right, let me see. I'm not seeing them, so I believe we're going to go straight into... Someone's going to get a little bit of a boost here. Erica, hop in the chat. I see you right there on the Red app. You're good to go. Let me get this going here. So Erica, it is your time to shine. It is your time to shine. You definitely can, Diana. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, go to my profile, click on the link, and click on Track Talk Submission. Just read through and follow all the steps, including making sure that you go to the Red app, YT, the Red app, to check the line, the order, and the minimum over there. That way, you can see exactly where everyone's at, because it's a little bit of a shorter live today. If you have a music video, I can show it over on those other apps. I'm live here, of course, on TikTok, where you are. But I'm also live on the Red app. TikTok's, TOS, the Red app and the Purple app. We're live on those other platforms as well. And I can show music videos and lyric videos over there. If you would like me to, just let me know. People do that, every once in a while, if they want to showcase their music video and stuff like that. All right. Erica said, Erica's over on the Red app, by the way, just so y'all know, I'm not like talking to a ghost out here. They said, OMG, so nervous. Don't be nervous. I mean, well, nerves are good. Nerves mean it matters. That's what people always say. Nerves mean it matters. It means something to you that you're making your music and you're putting it out there. It's a vulnerable thing. It's a scary thing sometimes. So I guess I don't want to say don't be nervous, but don't be not afraid. But you don't have to worry. I'm not gonna like tear into you or something. Anakati, am I saying that correctly? Yeah. If you want to submit, go to my profile. It's Annie Caddy, maybe it's a separate name there. I was just reading it from the username. But yeah, go to my profile, click on the link, click on Track Talk Submission, and just make sure that you have all the steps there. Sober is in the building. Sober, I got you. Sober, you're going to be coming up here in just a little bit. All right, they said, hi there. Let's see. Give me 2 seconds here, and I'll make sure. Boom. Sober, I got you. You're up on the list already. You're ready to go. It's going well, man. Let me know if you can hang out for a second. Let me know if you can hang out for a second. I got you towards the top of the list here. Let's see. Erica said this is our debut single, made and mixed in my basement, first time ever. Let's go. We're excited to share our debut single, Redline, a high energy rock track that captures who we are as a band and the sound we've been building toward. This is our first official release, and we'd be honored to have it considered for airplay. Let's get into it. I'm excited. We've been waiting a day or two for this. I'm ready for it. Redline brings a mix of grit, emotion, and adrenaline that we believe will resonate with listeners, and we love the chance for your audience to hear it. Thank you for taking the time to check it out, and please let us know if you need any additional info, assets, or interviews. Beautiful. Let's go. I'm excited. Thank you so much for sending this in. I appreciate that a lot. All right, this is Redline by Erica Hart. So it is you're saying we're, is it a band? So you let me see. This is our debut made a mix of. Okay, so it's a whole band, right? Let me get it downloaded really, really quick. Let me get this downloaded, and then we'll get into it. Perfect. All right, let's get into it. This is Redline by, okay, Good Nuff. Good Nuff is the name of the band, and Erica is the lead singer. Let's dive in. Yeah, get any details you happen to have. You know, if anything you know about the recording process, let me know who's, I know you said it was all mixed in there. Did you handle mixing this one and building out structure? Are some of the other musicians and stuff in the band, did they handle the mixing, stuff like that? Or you went to a studio for mastering or whatever? Like, give me some details on stuff like that, but let's get into it. This is Redline by Good Nuff. Redline by Good Nuff, and that is their first official release. I don't think it's out yet, but it is their first official release. So please show some love and support to Redline by Good Nuff. That is, if you see Erica in the chat, either on TikTok or on the Red app, definitely. Oh, it is out. It is out. Hold on, it is out. All right, we gotta pull it up on Spotify. Then what are we doing? We gotta stream it. We gotta get you streams. Jay Bello, welcome in. Thanks for tapping in. SKLX, aka Sky, inspired by Britney Spears. Ooh, let's go. Thank you so much for hopping in. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let me pull it up over here. Hold on. Good enough. Let me see. Let me pull up the track here. There's Redline. Beautiful. All right, we got it on Spotify. We're gonna pull it up over there. That way we can make sure we get you a stream. We got to make sure if we got an opportunity to help you out and get you streaming and like the track and all that fun stuff, we got to make sure that we do. Y'all show some love. That's Erica Hart right here. That's Good Enough is the name of the band. Redline is the name of the song, just came out. So let's get into it and let's talk about some practical mixings, right? Some practical things. Just again, the goal for me is not to because mixing is overwhelming for anybody who's just getting into it. It's like it's like dumping out Legos from a huge set onto the floor and just being like, I with no instructions. And be like, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. I don't know which first things to put together. It can be very overwhelming. So give you and the band and everyone who's just figuring it out on YouTube for the first time and stuff like that, give them some grace, give them some time, and y'all will get it out. So my goal here is not to like overwhelm you with like 62 steps to improving your vocal production and structure. I want to give like let's say like 3 solid things that you can take to like improve specific aspects of the mix that I think could be beneficial, just like taking the next baby step forward and improving your quality. So that this song, like the next track is a little bit better quality than this one. The next one's a little bit better quality than that. And you get excellent at it. And then you just, you kind of launch from there. And then you just get, you get really familiar with the language behind it and stuff like that. So let's run it from the top. This is Redline by Good Enough. Once again, if you want to submit, you can only have time for probably three or 4 tracks, maybe left. So if you want to submit, go to my profile, click on the link, click on Track Talk Submission, and just read through it and follow the steps there. Please check the line on the Red app first. That way you can see the line, the order, the minimum, stuff like that. All right, let's get into it. Redline by Good Enough. First like gut reactions is like intention behind note choice and this initial movement into the first intro of the song. You have your initial intro and then like your full instrumental intro before the vocal comes in. I love the idea. You have this like let me take this reverb off. This is driving me nuts. We don't need all that going on. Off the E minor, right? Like you have a great little like riff and movement right there. Yeah, it's a pretty stacked line, or fairly stacked line right now, but y'all can always check it so you can see where you need to go, or if you want to go past some people, you can see everybody that's there. If you wanna submit for a consultation, just make sure you check those minimums and everything over on the Red app. Use your imagination, the YT app. You can see the line, it's up on the screen the whole time. Okay. Oh yeah, we're gonna get all different genres here. 100% all different genres. I mean, we just went from a cinematic track to a cinematic score kind of in a way to this that classic rock song, and who knows what's coming after this. It's gonna be all over the place. We get all genres. All right, let me run this from the top really quick. So I would love a little bit more intention behind the lead-in lines for the bass right here. It feels a little bit off time and a little bit off pocket, and then not as intentional as I would love that lead-in and that groove to be on the bass. This is where I would probably just comp a little bit for the bass. I would just like try that line a couple different times, find the best pocket of it moving in, and then drop that into the track so it doesn't feel too loose. I want to hear the initial actually bass lead in right there over the E minor. I got $5 left. If you got $5 left, do not send it in here. Save your money. If you have $5 left, I want you to save your money, invest it. No, I'm just kidding. This is not financial advice. Invest it wisely. If you have $5, that wouldn't get you on the board here. These are really long form consultations. Each one of these take about 30 minutes per track. We listen 2 or 3 different times through the song, getting incredibly detailed through mix, production, structure, songwriting, and formatting all throughout the course. It's really detailed. So at 5 wouldn't even actually get you on the board. The board starts at 10 today because of how short the live is and how the line is. It's actually starting at 15, and the top of the line is past that. So it takes a little bit more to get in, but it's not a review. It's not like a free line in a 5 that skips it. It is a paid consultation service that we do on the live stream. Well, if you only have 5 left, that wouldn't get you in. All right, let me run this. I want to hear this line again really quick. Great guitar line, by the way, too. Like the riff is really solid. Dun, dun, dun. Right now it's 15 just to get on. 15 might put you next right now because I don't know who's still in. Some people left. Sober will be next. Sober's in the 25. Sober's in the 25. So if you want to go next, it would be 30. If you want to go after Sober, currently speaking, it would be 15, but that changes over the course of the live. Things are modular and people are moving around. So if you want to be next, it would be 30. If you want to be after the next track, we have Sober after this one. If you want to be after that track, then it would be 15. That's where like the current lineup is here. Yeah, so when it comes down to the bass line here, I just want to hear a little bit more distinction and clarity and like rhythm and note following the guitar riff. Like it would be really nice to have everything kind of following the same, following like the same octave, same movement to really punch through with that riff. I think because the bass kind of walks up on a different note leading up and there's a little bit of clash. You get a couple notes, like you get a little bit of like the 7th and the 8th right there. You get a little bit of tension between a couple of the notes hitting at the same time that they don't really, it's the biggest part of the intro right here where you transition into the full structure of the beat coming in. And because that's happening, because wanted like a rumble of an engine, but def coach. Yeah. And so if you want to rumble from an engine, then you probably want to create a slightly different structure to it because it walks up a little bit. But if you're wanting like a lower rumble, then you probably want to have a deeper line from the bass that just holds on that same note and maybe is just doing like alt fingers, right? For the low note on the bass over the E, right? So you maybe have dun, dun, dun. Dun, 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 and you just have like a buildup on the low E right underneath it to like build up that tension and energy, right? I think because you get some like off pocket notes moving up on the bass, I totally understand the idea that you're going for. I don't know if it's like actually manifested in the mix itself. So we can find some like creative ways to actually build that in. And then the other side of it, and just to switch modes a little bit, the other side would be to just add in Foley as well. Have a really consistent bass line that gives you some of that beef, gives you some of that energy, right? It supports the lead guitar line. It supports that riff and gives you a lot of energy. And then you just have like the sound of a guitar, sound of a car engine starting underneath it, maybe like filtered down a little bit. You get a little underneath like the guitar that comes in. Like you can add in some Foley that kind of supports your vision for the aesthetic and the imagery for the song and stuff like that. There's a lot of different options, right? But I would try to make sure as much as possible that whatever you're doing all points in the same direction, that it all like makes sense with the riff that's there, with the idea and the vision that you have for the aesthetic, and that it all points in that same direction. If anything feels like it gets like a little bit disconnected from that, it'll feel kind of uncertain a little bit. And I think that's a kicked in underneath, right? You know what I mean? Something like that. I would almost like feel that more a little bit, just hearing a car start underneath it with that bass line really hitting heavy, like a really nice, tight, saturated, punchy bass tone underneath that lead guitar riff that you have right there. To me, that would like support maybe the aesthetic a little bit more. That and or finding a different you're hearing as well, and or you just want to support an underground artist that's getting their start. This is our first single ever as a band called Good Enough. Please go check out the song. It is out on Spotify. It's out on DSPs. What's up, Hunter? Welcome, man. Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing amazing. Gentry, welcome in as well. You can go stream the song. It's called Redline by a band called Good Enough. That's Erica that's here in the chat. Go stream it. Go add it to your playlist. Go like the track. Go stream it and follow them on Spotify. All that good stuff. Show them some love and support. Okay. Two things. Actually, let me get a little bit deeper into it. There's like two main things, one on the percussion and one on the vocal, that I want to tackle for the most part, that I think would be the two most valuable things for you starting out right now. Because you have some good structure, you have some good formatting. The solo is great. I love the wah. I love the pinch harmonics. The guitarist is fantastic. All of the musicians' vocals, they're really, really like well performed, right? Well executed. There's some balancing things that I think we can get into, some mixed details that would help clarify this quite a bit. That's the two things I want to get into for the drums as well as the vocal. But for the most part, like tonally on the guitars, the double tracks are really nice. When I heard that single track on the left side, I was like, I hope they bring in a double track on the other side. It's classic for that genre. It gives you this really, really wide openness. That sounds amazing. So great job just building up that structure there. I also love that this was recorded in a basement. You know what I mean? Like, I love that this is just like raw and recorded in a basement. It sounds like it's recorded in a basement, and it should sound like it's recorded in a basement. One of the things I want to be careful of, especially as I talk about improving the quality of this and like improving the mixing structure and things like that, I don't want to any genre. I do not want to over mix this. I don't want to overproduce this. This is supposed to be a garage rock band. You know what I mean? This is supposed to be a basement rock band. And I want it to sound like it. I want there to be a good translation of this music to live shows. I don't want this to be like pristine, like Sabrina Carpenter vocals. That doesn't even make sense, right? Like, I want this to feel like raw and nasty and grungy and even a little muddy and ringy sometimes. I want the guitars to feed back. I want the cymbals to bleed into other mics. Like, I want a lot of those things to happen, because that gives you a lot of the feel and the aesthetic that you're going for. At the same time, I want to make sure that we can still hear what's going on. We can still distinguish these elements in the mix. Okay, so two things. Actually, let me get to the guitar solo really first. I want to get through the guitar solo. Came out of a jam session. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. I want to get through the guitar solo, and then I want to just bring up these 2 points, and then we'll move on. Two things. Let's start with percussion. Just for a second here. And also, just a quick reminder, we talk about a lot of details, obviously, on this live stream. We go into a lot of depth with all of the different people that are coming through. So I don't want y'all to feel like you have to feel like you need to remember every single thing that's going on, right? So every single one of these live streams that we do are recorded as VODs to YouTube as well. So Red app, I'm so sorry, TikTok. The Red app, forget I said that. Recorded to the Red app. So if you need to go back and reference your consultation, you need to go back and like reference what we're talking about, or go back and remember some of the things that we broke down in order to like, make sure that you're fixing certain things or diving into some different details. Definitely go back to the Red app. You can find the stream over there as well, and you can find the VOD. This will be episode 29, I think 29. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be episode 29. I'm not positive. I'll double check it, but you can find the playlist. It's called Track Talk Live Stream. You can just go through them there. It'll be the most recent one after we finish out the live stream here. There is a bass player. That's the intro right here. You can hear it come in. Doom, 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 doom. I have the tiger right there. Okay, so two things really quick. I'm gonna skip forward here. Two things that I want you to focus on. One is compression on the percussion. So on the drums right now, one of the things that you are one of the things that you're running into is some pumping in the mix. So you'll hear, and I'll play it a little bit here, getting into the hook. You're going to hear the drums getting kind of like loud and quiet, loud and quiet. You're hearing it kind of grabbed by compression and then released back into the mix every time like the kick isn't in the mix for a second or something like that, right? Or like maybe the bass cuts in, or it might be something happening on the instrument bus, whatever it may be. There could be a combination of different things that are happening at the same time that are creating this pumping effect in the mix, where the compression is grabbing something, it's pulling it back, and then it's like releasing it back into the mix. But before it can grab another one, you hear the signal get loud and then it pulls it back again. And you're getting this ebb and flow of loudness and amplitude in the mix. Specifically in the drums is where I hear it the most. Usually, Andrew, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Usually that has to do with like something that's happening on the bus, because I hear it over a couple different things, a couple different times here over the drums. I'm going to move it a little bit further. I want to get into the last hook so we can kind of hear exactly how that hits. It actually happens here in the intro a little bit too. You can hear it through the verses. But what I would do, we have talked about the compression just the other day. Yeah, drums are interesting. Drums are an interesting animal, especially if you are live miking. If you're live miking drums, I have a live, you can't see it in here, but I have a live drum set right here next to me. And in this case, I think I have an 8 mic setup on it. You're dealing with so many different things. No matter, even if you have like 2 overheads and that's it, right? Like even if you just have like 2 overheads and a kick mic or something like that, no matter how simple you go, drums can be an animal to figure out, right? Just making sure that things are like phase cohesive, making sure that your direct mics are solid, making sure that your overheads are in phase, that your stereo field is optimized, making sure that everything is like balanced in the mix, that bleed is mitigated as much as you feel like you need to. It's not necessary, for the most part, but making sure that, bleed is an issue that you're dealing with if it does feel like an issue for your set, especially if you're just recording in a small environment in a basement. It can be really challenging. It can be really, really challenging. So one of the things I just want you to be aware of is how each of these different mics and different instruments that you have in there are affecting each other. Let me get into this intro, actually. And actually the first hook, I think, is actually the thing that might be the bass. So this is potentially I'm listening. Here's what I'm listening for: the bass relationship to the drums. The bass kicks in, and this is what for me it's less about like here's the fix, which we'll talk about, but it's more I want you to be able to hear what's going on, because if you can't hear what's going on, you can't fix it, right? So training your ears. Ear training to me is one of the most important parts of learning how to produce and mix. So I want to tell you what I'm hearing. And what I'm hearing and the kind of what I'm listening for is every time the bass kicks in, I'm hearing the hi-hats duck quite a bit, like the overheads kind of duck quite a bit. You hear a lot of the percussion kind of duck down in the mix. And then I think the dun, 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 the bass pauses for a second. It cuts out just for a moment and then kind of comes back in. When the bass cuts out for a microsecond right there, the bass cuts out for a second, that hi-hat gets super loud. All of a sudden you hear, and it cuts way, way, way into the mix. And then it cuts back out when the bass comes back in with its riff again. That's what I want you to listen for. That tells me there's probably some overcompression happening on the master as well. It's probably your typical culprit here, where everything is going under the same umbrella. When that bass hits that limiter or it hits a compressor over on the master, maybe that's taking up a lot of your headroom. That bass kicks in, maybe the stack of your guitars following the same riff, all those kick in. They're taking most of your headroom. It's triggering your compression. And so everything's ducking down by whatever threshold you've set and by whatever ratio that you've set on there. It's ducking down by, let's say in this case, 5-6 dB or something like that. It's giving you a lot of reduction on the master. And then when those elements leave, when the guitar and the bass pause for a second, like it lifts, dun, dun, pause, dun, dun. You get these little tiny like pauses and lifts in the mix. When that happens, you hear the drums like shoot forward in the mix, right? That's the pumping that I'm talking about. That's that ebb and flow that I'm talking about. What I would recommend is on the master, if this is something that's happening on an instrument bus or on the master through your compression, I would highly suggest that you don't make, especially if you're starting out. Now, if you're a master at mastering, no pun intended, then you can make a lot more creative, you can take a lot of creative liberties and replicate them, right? If you're really, really early on, and you're just figuring a lot of stuff out, make the most minute glue, blanket things, blanket adjustments over the master, right? If you are going to add a compressor on there, get a max. Again, just to keep this simple, these aren't like rules, but just to keep it simple since you're just starting out, get a max of 2 dB of reduction, right? Like set it to like 2 to 1, and like a really, really light curve of compression and get a max of like 2 dB of compression. So the hardest thing, the harshest thing it's going to do is just control your top transients, right? When the guitar is cut in a little bit harsh, it's just going to control it and keep it from, jumping out of the mix too much. But it's not necessarily going to take the mix and like pull it back every time those different elements hit. No, yes, thank you for the follow. When the drums get a little bit louder, it's not going to completely suppress the mix and steal all of the energy away from the track. It's just going to tell it to sit down very, very lightly by about 2 dB. That'd be the first thing I would check, is see if you're getting a large amount, like 5 to 7 dB of reduction on the master. If that is happening, that is at least one of your culprits, where it is pumping in the mix pretty dramatically. You're hearing the processing happening instead of it being a little bit more transparent and natural. You're hearing the release of the compression. You're hearing the attack of the compression kick in, and it's not transparent. You're hearing the processing happening in the mix, which is of course not what you want. You want things to, you want to hear that it already sounds good, but you don't want to hear compression, right? It's different than like auto tune, where like you might want to hear the auto tune effect. With compression, typically speaking, in this particular context, a very natural, grungy rock band like this, you want it fairly natural sounding, fairly transparent sounding, so you're not hearing it kicking in. So double check your compression, keep it really, really light. Same thing with the EQ. Keep things very, very like tasteful, really, really light. Same thing with the limiter. On the limiter, set a ceiling, go maybe -1 on the ceiling, and bring down the threshold till you're getting a max 2 dB of reduction starting out. Again, you can always do weirder stuff beyond that, but if you're just starting out, just keep it simple. Keep it simple, get control on the master. Don't make any major stylistic decisions. If something sounds out of control and you don't know what's happening, bypass everything, right? Just if you feel like, man, I've added too many things and I don't even know where to turn now, bypass and get back to square one. Back off just a little bit and you'll be in a good spot. But the compression is probably one of the number one things that I'm hearing here. JD Cook's in the building. Welcome in. Thank you so much for hopping in. What's your end game mic? And if you have time for each category, dynamic condenser. Like, what's my dream microphone? My dream microphone, I'm gonna have one. I have one of my favorite microphones that I'm talking through right now. It's a Neumann. Well, you can see it a little bit. Not really. You can see it a little bit. The mic that I'm using right now, this is my primary vocal mic. This is a Neumann M147 tube. It's a really, really nice hybrid tube microphone. I've had it for a couple years and it has not treated me wrong. It's a really, really good microphone. That's one of my favorites. But end game microphone, like my dream is probably an ELAM 251. That's pretty classic. It's like everyone's dream microphone. It's pretty solid. But there's a lot of great microphones out there. I've had the opportunity to use a lot of really fabulous microphones. One of the best ones that I used myself and a client of mine. We were tracking vocals, and I've worked with him a couple different times. We're going to be tracking some cool records coming up in 26. It's gonna be fun. But we're tracking through a Manley Gold. It's a Manley reference Gold. It's pretty fabulous. We're tracking through a 1073 into a LA2A. Brilliant sound. It's mixed already. You use that microphone into a 73, into a vintage 2A, and it is already mixed. You don't have to do anything to it. You just drop it in there. You drop it in there and you're ready to go. Okay, Nako, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Bohemian Rhapsody is a really, really cool song structure. It's a really, really cool song. I think it's really interesting, and I wish more people would get back to interesting song structures. All right, we thought it was compressed too much. Yeah, that's what's going on. It's pumping in the compression, and you're limiting. That's what's creating these weird, like it gets loud and then it gets quiet, it gets loud, it gets quiet. That's a lot of what you're hearing. That's a lot of what's going on there. Okay, let me skip to the end here really quick. Actually, no, I already heard all this, so I don't need to worry about that again. The last thing that I'll say, Erica, because y'all are talented. Like I want to preface that y'all are talented. You're good writers. You're good musicians. The fact that you're doing this with so many limitations too, for me, is it's admirable. You're doing so many things that I love. Pop Rock, welcome in. It's good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. There's so many things that I love about what y'all are doing. The last thing that I would say is oftentimes when you find yourself running into limitations in quality of recording, it can be beneficial. This is not a rule. This is not something I would do all the time, but it can be beneficial to disguise those limitations with intentional processing, right? So if you have a really nasty room, right? Now there's things you can do to mitigate that. You can get little vocal shields. Obviously you can treat the room lightly. You can record with blankets set up and put your mattress up on the wall and whatever, you can do stuff, right? There's things you can do to mitigate, issues with the quality of your vocal recordings and like reflections in the room and flutters because it's bouncing off the basement walls and stuff like that. There's obviously things that you can take care of. But if you're not going to do that, or it's just not in your capacity to think about it, then I would usually recommend that you like disguise the issues with your vocal with intentional processing. In this case, what I would love to hear on your vocal is a little bit of overdrive, like a little almost like, think of like a megaphone, but maybe a better quality megaphone, like a megaphone, kind of like overdriven vocal with like a slap delay, a really, really fast slap delay, like tape delay at the end. That's really, really tight and really, really like a really, really tight vocal structure right there. I would love that because one, it'll disguise some of the early reflections in the room. It'll disguise that vocal kind of bouncing off the walls and back into the mic. It'll disguise some of the issues with the space, as well as give you a really classic grungy underground rock vibe, right? You have an overdriven vocal to disguise kind of issues with clipping or issues in dynamic range. To me, it can be really beneficial to just take issues that you might be having and cover them. Again, like I said earlier, this is not a rule. This is not something I would recommend to the vast majority of people, but specifically in the rock genre, you can get away with a lot of this, kind of mitigating some of those issues by making them intentional. Quick example, I had a vocalist that sent me a song that this is a couple of years ago, a client that I was working with, and they were recording a rock track. They sent me the mix, or they sent me their, the production track outs and their vocal. And the vocal was like clipping every 5 words that they were yelling into the microphone. They were clipping like crazy. And it sounded so shitty. It sounded really bad. So it was like, a couple words would be clean and then they get really loud and it would just break up and distort. And it was like digital clipping. It sounded so horrible. It did not sound good at all. And I asked him, I was like, hey, half this song is clipping terribly and it's not gain staged properly. I would love it if you could re-record these vocals. These are going to be a bear to mix. And they said, I don't have the time to re-record right now. I did all this last week. I can't do it again. And so what I did is I distorted all of the vocal. I just said, okay, well, we're going to overdrive and saturate the entire vocal heavily. So it all sounds clipped. So the whole thing. So I'm taking an issue that they had with poor recording quality, right? And made it intentional and actually fit the vibe of the song even better. So stuff like that can be an easy way for you to take like, hey, we're recording in a basement. This is kind of tough. We're recording several things at the same time, maybe. We're tracking in an interesting way. I might not have the best setup. And you can take that and make it vibe and make it a part of the aesthetic of your sound by saturating well, overdriving well, compressing strategically with, good control, at the same time as like adding small effects that disguise reflection in the room, right? So that's what I had to do this literally with this artist. They unfortunately pulled the song off platforms because it was an interesting song, but I think they like switched artist names and whatever. Anyways, that's a sidebar. I don't know why I'm mentioning that. But sometimes you just got to try weird things. That's what I love about engineering is you got to try weird things in order to make a song make sense sometimes. And that'd be one thing I would recommend for your vocals. Like I'm hearing this vocal. And you can hear how the vocal sounds like it's a little bit like in a hole. It's kind of set in the room. You can feel kind of some of the depth and reflection that's happening there where the vocal sounds reflective even beyond just a reverb that's on there. And you're getting a lot of that space from the room. So I would love to disguise that. I would love to like make that sound on purpose and make it sound like it's something you tried to do. It's all like it's like controlled chaos. You know what I mean? Little things like that can take you really, really far when it comes to like building out the structure of your music. So those are the things that I would focus on. Really intentional production structure, like with your bass lines and your intros, right? I think that's really important. That's people's, especially with the first song, that's people's first introduction to your music. I would definitely spend a good chunk of time. Y'all are all talented musicians and vocalists and writers and stuff. Y'all have all of that down. I'm not too worried about that. Y'all are just going to get better and better and better at that as well. But I would really focus on your mix and master structure, specifically on the master side, control over compression and limiting. I got you. Yeah, I got you, Brett. You're good. I got you up on the board. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Control over compression and limiting to make sure that you're not getting pumping. Again, aim for like a max of like 2 dB. You know what I'm saying? Like a max of 2 dB just to get control, get glue, but you're not making huge stylistic decisions on the master. So not bad considering we have never done this before. Not at all. Again, like I said, y'all are talented musicians. And I think that's the foundation. That's all that really matters, right? You're talented musicians. You understand the structure. You understand building out a song format. You understand playing your instruments and using your voice. To me, it's going to come down, does everything else in the mix? No, you're totally good, Brett. Does everything else in the mix point in the same direction? Does it all point in the right direction? Because right now, that's where I start to hear some things that feel a little bit disjointed, right? Or could definitely use some polish. Because as soon as I want to feel this grungy, nasty guitar and the structure of this mix being really like, I don't know, raw, organic, like kind of unprocessed in a way. But what's happening is because of the processing, I'm like hearing it. Like it loses its like authentic perception, because I'm like hearing the processing happening. You know what I mean? Like I'm hearing compression happening, and that takes me out of feeling the natural feel, even though it still is like a really natural feel. I'm hearing EQ happen. I'm hearing like compression tackle those drums and pull them back into the mix, right? So I think the more that you learn to process properly, the more that you learn like how to like set up your master chain and get that really, really clean and concise and really transparent, you'll actually hear less of the processing, the better it is, right? You'll hear like more smoothness and more like roundness over the mix. It'll feel really, really cohesive and really, really well balanced. The fact that this is y'all's first song is crazy. It's crazy. You're starting off on a really good foot, and it's only going to get better from here. Y'all, please show some love to Erica Hart right over here on TikTok. The song, once again, is called Redline by the band Good Nuff. Go stream the song. Go add it to your playlist. Go run up the numbers. Go boost their algorithm. Give them some love and support. Erica, thank you so much for your patience last night. I appreciate you coming in with this song. I can't wait to hear song number 2, 3, 4 as y'all improve on your quality too. I'm very, very excited for y'all's journey if this is how y'all are starting as well. Let's keep the music going, y'all. I'm trying to move at a decent pace. I know I'm still not, but Sober, hop in the chat. Hop in the chat, y'all. I've got time for, let's see, it's 6:30 already. I got time for 2 songs. I got some time for 2 more songs. 2 more songs. Like I said, I've got to move quick today. Today is a little bit of a shorter line. Absolutely. Much love to y'all as well. We got 2 songs left, so I'm probably going to go ahead and close up the line, y'all, because again, it's a very, very limited doc today, just because I really do not have a lot of time. Yeah, I got time for 2 songs, y'all. I got time for 2 songs. Let me see where everything is at right now. And just a quick reminder, I do list all of this up in the the form for the submissions and stuff like that. If you do not get her, because we got a bunch of people on the list. We got some people on from yesterday. We were on for 5 hours yesterday. It was a super, super long stream. We got through a whole bunch of different songs. But yesterday we still had some people that weren't able to get heard at the end of the live. Just like it says in the form, we will never listen without you. You never have to worry about missing your submission or anything like that, or missing your song or sending in and not getting heard. You never have to worry about that. We will always make sure that you are here for your breakdown. So even if I have to get off at the end of the stream because I don't have time, or I've got to rest my ears, I can't do it 24/7, or you have to eat, sleep, work, leave for any reason, or you have to head out for a little bit, or you're driving, whatever it may be, and it's time for your song and you can't get heard, or whatever it may be, or your song's left over at the end of the night, we will always save your credit. I've got a detailed list of everybody's name and credit that's left up on the board, just in case you're not able to get heard. That way, literally the next time that you're here, whether that's tomorrow or 4 days from now or a week from now, you come back in and you are ready to get heard, and the line is back up again, then we'll just literally throw you straight back up to your spot and you'll be ready to go. Okay, let's get into, I have you on the list. I think right now the top that I have, I'm going to go ahead and save, give me a second. Let me save Mead. Let me save Mead really quick from the other day so I can get that off of here. I think right now the top that I have, Sober, let me know if you're in the chat. Sober, let me know. It just depends on who's in here because people leave, and so I don't always know who the top 2 are. I have time for 2 left. Barely have time for 2 left, honestly. I gotta get going. Let me save. They're Sober. Okay, so right now I have Sober and Brett as the top 2, and then Caroline, Copen, and Kevin, Kev, Monty, and 24 Link. Y'all will be saved currently. I will probably be live tomorrow afternoon. I'm Central Time, just so y'all know. I'll probably be live tomorrow afternoon. But yeah, I've got time for 2 more. So if you want to move forward, you can. There's no pressure to do that. I don't want anybody to feel pressure to do that if you don't want to, or you don't have the capacity to. Either way, you will be saved and you don't have to worry about missing your chance at all. All right, Sober, let's get into it because I want to move at a good pace. If I spend too much time yapping, then I don't get to songs anyways. So let me get Sober. Sober's from the other day. Sober came in yesterday. So let me get this track up here really, really quick. Really quick. All right, this is, that way I can move at a good pace. This is Sober Opium is the name of the artist. The song is called Voices. So Sober, for one, thank you for your patience. I know it's taken a day or two to get you on here, man. So I appreciate you so much for your patience. I know sometimes I never know. Obviously, I don't control who comes in and who submits. I never know what it's going to do. Sometimes things are chill and simple, and sometimes they go crazy. So it really just depends on the day. So I try to do my best to like control the line and limit submissions here and there and stuff, but it makes it it makes it, you know, I try to do my best. Okay. Does it send me a text if I do? Does it send me a text if I do have to wait for another stream? We're live every day, Coven, largely speaking. So I'll be live tomorrow afternoon. I might be live. I don't think I'll be live on Sunday. Sunday, I'll probably have to take a day off. But I'm live every day during the week. So Monday through Friday next week in the afternoon, I'll be live just like I am right now. So y'all can catch me anytime. What I would recommend, Copen, would be to turn on live notifications on my profile. If you turn on live notifications for my profile, then it'll notify when I go live. Or another thing you can do, Copen, for anybody that's in here, message me on Instagram. You can find it at my link tree. Message me on Instagram, the word group, and I'll add you to, we have a group over there. Yeah, we have a notification group over there that there's no spam or anything like that. All I do is say, hey, I'm going live in 5 minutes. You can go in and get your tracking early, so your order changes and stuff like that, and you can get yourself on every time we go live. That's what a lot of people do. So like Derek Bennett and some of these people that like come in and they're on the board right away. That's typically they're typically getting notified early as well. So that's definitely helpful. So either just turn on notifications on TikTok here, it'll notify you, or if you join the notification group, then you'll get notified every single time I go live. I message the group and say, hey, I'm going live on all platforms. Hop in whenever you're ready, and then we go live on all three different platforms. Okay, let's get into these last two songs really quick, and then we'll I'll make sure to get everybody's credit safe too. All right, this is Voices by Sober Opium. Give me all of the details, Sober. Is it my first time hearing you? I'm pretty sure it is. Give me all of the details. Talk to me about the production structure. Talk to me about the mix. And the role that you personally hear in the chat that you play in this song. What role do you play in the building out of this record and the finalization of this record, stuff like that. Let's get into it. Let's move. I gotta go quick. First time, welcome to the family, Sober. I'm so glad you're here. We got a lot of like cinematic stuff in last 2 days. We've got a lot of like cinematic stuff, a lot of progressive metal, a lot of rock. It's cool. I don't know where this is about to go, but we've gotten a lot of heavier stuff the last couple of days.
In a world where sober rules, this summer,
Heavy. Nice balance there too. Lake, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, I wanna smile again. I'm tired of all of these voices I'm hearing inside of my head. I wonder if I have
Did
a
you produce
purpose
this?
The devil shakes out of his skin. Is it the reason the voices get louder and louder the second I feel I'm at peace? Stuck in a cycle like Freddie and Michael. I feel I've been doomed from the start. And Michael
Little
was
NF
psycho,
vibe.
'cause one thing that I know is there is a war in my heart.
I'm sure everyone
I'm feeling
says that.
depressed, my soul is a mess. I'm needing something to deal with the stress. I wanna look in the mirror, feel proud of myself, and not yell at myself like I've been. Show me I'm loved and help me believe it. My life is a movie I don't wanna be in. Alone with my thoughts has never been best. I find the beauty inside of the mess. I find the beauty inside of the dark. I find the beauty inside of the beast. I find the beauty inside of the beauty, but never find beauty when staring at me.
All right, lines closed, y'all. Lines closed. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. Choking. Makes sense. Anytime anyone hears like a cinematic trap beat, they're like, it's an F. So my allergies are getting to me, y'all.
Yeah, and I'll be actually screaming. I have it bad, but I'll have it worse if I keep on chasing these demons. I poison my flesh, I'm dancing with death. I have been trying to capture my breath. I have been trying to plot my escape.
Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Line is closed, y'all, but we're going to open it back up tomorrow afternoon, most likely.
We don't take no L.
I got you, man. I got you. Who produced this, Sober? All I have is a mic and GarageBand. Let's go, man. Let's go. Y'all show some love, show some love. That is Sober Opium right here in the chat. That song is called Voices. For what I love when there's like alignment. Neo Beats. Is it like a BeatStars lease? Is it a YouTube beat? Or is it someone that you know personally that produced it? Noel Beats. Okay, that makes sense. Noel Beats. I love when there's an alignment between like the lyrics of a song, the aesthetic of a song, the name of a song. It's called Voices. You hear voices in the background. You have lyrics that represent that structure well. Like all of those things to me line up really, really nicely. So I just appreciate you doing that. Like actually, like there's some quality things we can dig into. Of course, that's why we're here. But at the same time, I appreciate the fact that you're actually putting some time and effort behind like building a song structure that like points in the right direction and feels cohesive with the energy that you're trying to portray, the emotion you're trying to elicit, stuff like that, man. You're doing a really, really, really good job. Sorry to hop off. What did you say about if I don't make the stream today? Yeah, so if y'all don't make the stream today, I make sure that I list all this out in the form too. If you don't make the stream today, we will never listen without you. We will always make sure that you're here for your breakdown. So if you don't get heard, you're immediately saved to my list. If anyone that's left up on the board, I said that's actually Derek Bennett came in 2 days ago. Sober, who we're listening to, or Derek came in yesterday. Sober, who we're listening to right now, they came in 2 days ago. We got him back up on the board. We're listening to him now. So some people come in from other streams. So we'll save it. Same with Erica, actually. A couple of people from today were from yesterday or the day before when the line went crazy. So I have them saved to my list. And then the next time you hop in, you literally you throw it up on the board and you just let me know that you're back. Let me know that you're back in the chat. I'll see your name. I'll pull you up on my list. And I'll put you straight back up on the line again. Whether that's, tomorrow's live stream or a week from now, whenever you have the capacity to, there's no pressure or rush. It just depends on how quickly you want to come back in, but I'll just make sure I throw you straight back up on the list. You'll be ready to go. I think you were mentioning being notified earlier too. If you want to be notified, just turn on live notifications over on TikTok here, or you can message me the word group over on Instagram and I'll add you to the notification group. I have a group over there on Instagram where I notify everybody like 5 minutes before I'm going live or right as I'm going live so that people can get in early and get their song heard. And because like the difference between being the first 10 on there or the first 15 on there or something and the fourth 15 or something like that is a difference between like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? So it can be beneficial to get in earlier, even though it's not like strictly necessary. Okay, let me see some things real quick. I mix and do everything else myself, and I'm like, oh, you're leasing the beat? Yeah, of course, man. We'll always make sure that you've been taken care of. And for those of you coming in for the first time too, we've been doing these long form consultations for like 3 years. It'll be 3 years next month. We've been doing this for a long time, and I've always, every single time, kept a really, really detailed list of literally hundreds of names as people have come through the live stream to make sure that I'm taking care of every single person that comes in here. That as soon as you hop back in, and sometimes the same with Sober. So Sober came in, it might have been almost a week ago, Sober, or maybe 4 days ago, something like that. Sober came in with a 20 and he came in, but the line skipped far past that, and so it took him a couple days to even get back in. And so I made sure that at the end of the last stream I was like, hey, you weren't able to get in again, I'm going to donate another 5 to you to help push you and make sure that you're getting on. So if you keep showing up, I always want to make sure that I'm doing my best and this community is doing their best to support the people that are coming in. Make sure that you're getting heard, make sure that you're getting boosted on the board. Sometimes people will even just come in and say, hey, I'll donate to skip them forward and help them out and stuff too. So if y'all plug in, you're in the chat, you're connecting with the community, we'll always make sure that y'all are taken care of 100%. Okay, let's get into it. Sober. Let's get into it. Let's run it from the top. So you're leasing the beats. Based on that, I'm assuming you're mixing all this off of a 2-track. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming you don't have stems or track outs for it. And then you're recording your vocals in a band lab. Let's get into it, man. Let's run it from the top and let's dive in. And then I do believe that Brett is going to close us out today. So Brett, just make sure that you're close. You'll close us out here in the next, 10, 15 minutes. All right, let's start off from the top. Let me give you a quick rule here in a second. I just want to see how long this intro is. Of course, man, of course. Perfect. Okay, cool. Hey, thank you so much, Copen. I appreciate you so much, man. All love, all love. I can't wait to hear what you got, man. Can't wait to hear what you got. I'll be on tomorrow if you can tap in. If not, probably Monday.
Yeah.
Okay, so 46 seconds. 46. Could I have a music video concept? Okay, beautiful. So what I would recommend is just having a radio edit. That'd be the easiest way to do it. Is you have a long form breakdown of the song. It's about 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And then have a radio edit that's cut short. Let me give just a quick tip, just because some people don't know this and it's beneficial to know. There is a 30-second threshold for streams to count and be paid out, right? This is really, really important for anybody that's in here. A 30-second threshold for streams to be paid out and to count on your profile. So if you want people to actually like listen to the music and you actually wanted to register on your accounts and for you to get paid for your streams, people have to listen at least 30 seconds. That's the threshold for most major DSPs. So just as an example, I usually give this example once a live stream. You could have 1 million people stream your song for 27 seconds and then skip it, and you will see 0 streams and 0 cents from that stream. People have to listen for at least 30 seconds for it to register and for it to count. So you do want to make sure that you are grabbing people's attention, that you are introducing yourself as an artist early on, so on and so on. You want to make sure that you're there, that you're in front of people. This is why you will hear artists, even in like rap songs and stuff like that, where they'll just come in and you'll just hear them literally go, they'll take a deep breath, they'll light a lighter, they'll say, yeah. And they'll be like, they'll just say some random shit. They'll just be like, they didn't want me to talk about this. They'll just say some random stuff in order to just be like, here's an artist. I'm here. I'm in front of you. And I'm present in the song, so that you stay for a second. If you say something, you breathe for a moment, you say, yeah, whatever. Or maybe you even start with a part of it. You sample the hook of your song and put it in the background, filtered out with a bunch of reverb. You do something. You just let me know that you're here. And I'm not just going to listen to another generic beat or something. Then it just tells people that you're present, and they should probably pay attention. Even if they hate it at 32 seconds, you at least have the stream. You keep their attention for a certain amount of time. So I would recommend beyond even just cutting the intro to make it shorter and having your whispers and stuff in the background, which I really like, I would recommend having some form of vocal structure early on. I want to hear your hook here for a second. Even if you cut this down, it's 46 seconds. Even if you cut that down in half, people don't give you a whole lot of time before they just skip past, right? So let me, I'm going to hear where your hook is really quick.
How the devil shakes out of his skin. Am I going psycho? Cause one thing that I know is there is a war and with the stress. How will help me believe it? I find the beauty in
this right here. This is perfect. This is perfect. So I don't know what you're saying in the lyric structure in the background here. I would put this right at the intro over your whispers. So let the whispers go for a second. Let this go. Bring in the whispers here, fade them in. And then I will go. Verse, it's boom right there. If you have that, so now we're just as an example, we're at 20 seconds. We cut that intro in half, beat hits right there, but there's an introduction to like your hook vocal, you know, over the F sharp minor. There's some vocal structure like that vocal that you're mumbling later on. Put that like right at, like let the whispers come in and fade in a little bit earlier. As soon as those strings start, like those pizzicatos start in the early part of the song right there, let the strings kick in, let the whispers fade in, and then immediately copy over that structure. And you can even like filter it out a little bit. Then you get this like kind of like, I don't know, kind of eerie, like really ethereal. What the strings in the background and like some like pads that are building in. The whispers are really eerie in the back. I don't know what this is. What the whispers. This is my sign language for whispers. All of this, like, you know, the whispers in the background that are giving you all this like eerie, kind of dark, you know, moody feeling right there in the background. I think that like that to me would, as a first listener of the song, that would get my attention. I'd be like, ooh. This is kind of eerie. This is kind of like, you know, this is kind of like dark and moody, and it's got a really, really cool aesthetic. That would immediately, if I heard strings, so what I would do is strings, And as soon as the strings start, immediately start fading and whispering, right? I would, whatever you're saying, right? I don't know what the voices are saying, right? But just like right there, immediately. Let it go through a full 4, go through like a full 4 bars right there, whispers, and then vocal kicks in. So it'd be here. Right there, and then 3, 4. Whatever it is. Then beat, boom. The beat hits at 22 seconds. Everyone goes crazy. There's so much more energy to that, right? You know what I mean? Like there's so much more anticipation now. You got me hyped. You got me hyped, sober opium. There's like, even just like imagining that, I'm like, dude, that's a sick intro to a song. That's honestly, even for the video, I don't even know if you need that. If you have a concept for the video, run with it. I'm not trying to change that. Even for a video though, that's like more concise and sharp too, but even just for a radio record. For one, that takes you from 3 minutes and 12 seconds. It takes you from 3 minutes and 12 seconds. That brings your song, you're 22 seconds less. So it's going to put your song at 250. It's going to put your song at 250. That's going to be under a lot of playlist limitations. So a lot of playlists won't take songs over 3 minutes. There's not, not all of them have like really strict guidelines. If it's super popular, they'll put it in there. But for smaller underground people, sometimes they're like, they don't want songs over 2.5 minutes, songs over 3 minutes, stuff like that. You're at 312 right now. So you might want to just consolidate. If you just like, string starts, spiccato starts at the beginning of the strings, at the beginning of the song, immediately fade in whispers, and then 4 bars in, vocal hits, da, 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 whatever you want to do there, whatever you have later on in the song. What that also does is if you start with your hook right there, if you start with your hook right here, when you go to here, let me see. If you start with the hook, once it comes here, when you do this, people have already heard it. So you immediately get a more catchy structure because there's repetition. Instead of the song kind of constantly morphing, there's no real repeated melodic structure. There's no real like repeated structure at all. It just kind of, it's more freestyled. It has a lot of movement and structure, but it doesn't really repeat itself or format much. There's not much of an algorithm to it. If you start with the hook and there's this, whatever, like the kind of structure you have there, when you go back into it, it's going to be familiar to people. So it's going to feel catchy. It's going to feel repetitive in a really good way. It's going to make it 50 billion times more catchy. If there's no repetition, it's gonna be hard for people to latch onto it. That's a big part of it there. You have a big gap here in the middle as well. I would definitely find a way to fill out with production, or I'm sorry, with vocal production, because you do lose a lot of steam. Because you have like a lot of good lyric structure, man. Let's go, Silver. You got me, dude. You got me fired up, man. You got my wheels spinning and stuff like that. And hopefully that the same happens for you. I just want to get your wheels spinning. I want to get your creative juices flowing, so that you can really lock into the song, because you got potential. You're a good lyricist. You also have good confidence on the mic. I think you can. A lot of people here, right? We can always like polish our production. We can always like improve on our emoting and our projection and our ability to like not read lyrics, because sometimes a lot of songs feel scripted because people are reading them off their phone or off a page. And you can tell that happens a lot with rap too, where you got a really long lyric structure and you're just like right here, and you're just like singing it from right here in front of you. And you feel that in the song. You're like, this sounds scripted. I'm missing actually the emoting and the energy behind the structure, right? And I would love to feel that more. So there's little things like that. I think that all of us, a lot of people, including yourself, could improve on over time as well, of getting really familiar with the song, comping well, and balancing out all of these different elements that you have. But for me, one of the most important parts of this is structure. It's got to be catchy. There's got to be a couple different elements in here that repeat in order for people to latch onto it, right? That to me is really important. Thank y'all so much for happening. I really appreciate y'all joining the stream, and thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that a lot. The line is closed for right now. Charlie, thank you for the follow as well. The line is closed. It's a short live today. We only have one more song after this, but we will probably be live again tomorrow. I think it's going to be kind of a busy day, but I'll probably be live tomorrow. So you can definitely tap in. Then we'll open up the lines again. But we have one more song after this, and then we're closing it up for today. It's a pretty short live today. I've been on. It's only going to be like a 2.5 hour live today. Pretty short and sweet. But we'll open it up back again tomorrow. We'll go through all the consultations again, open up the lines, all that good stuff. Thank y'all so much for hopping in. I really, really appreciate that. And also thank y'all for the follows. That means a lot. Okay, let me get a little bit deeper into this. There's a little part of a structure here I want to update.
I find the beauty inside of the beast. I find the beauty inside of the beauty, but never.
You have good doubles too, like good in and outs, like your accent vocals in and outs. Those are executed well. I like they're kind of like almost like a gang vocal. You really, really like strong stab of the vocal there with a bunch of reverb on it. Like those elements are really, really cool. So there's a lot that you're doing really well. I don't want to feel too critical. These are very like practical decisions that I want to polish. But I think like creatively speaking, you have a lot of good lyric structure and stuff like that, good flow and movement. But I want to make sure structurally in the production too that we're optimizing as much as possible. Otherwise, people just won't listen. You know, that's the reality. Or they'll listen one time and they'll forget it because nothing caught their attention. And that's, of course, that's the last thing we want. No matter what the genre is. This could be a country song, could be an opera song. And that's the last thing we want to happen. We want to grab people's attention and maintain it. And in fact, maintain their attention after they're done listening to the song. I want them to listen to 4 more songs and be humming your hook while they're cleaning their dishes at night. You know what I mean? That's what we want people to do. We want to make sure that we're actually creating some retention.
Never find beauty when staring at me.
Thank you so much, Erica. Thank you. So right here, in my opinion, I would go straight into a hook right here. You you let that vocal go, automated delay tail, go, right? You have a nice big delay tail at the end right there. And then I would go straight into a big hook right here and stack that vocal. I see. I don't know, whatever. I'm making up mumbled lyrics here, but since you leave your vocal structure with a lot of energy right there, and it goes straight down to the beat for like another like 4 bars or another 8 bars maybe, before your vocal comes back in, you do lose a lot of steam. It just kind of goes back to and then as a listener, as you as like the vocal producer and the vocalist and stuff, you might sit there and be like, this is still cool. I'm still hearing my cool beat. And as a listener, you kind of go,
I find the beauty inside of the mess. I find the beauty inside
you're
of the
vibing,
dark.
everything's energetic.
Inside of the beast. I find the beauty inside of the beauty, but never find beauty when staring
And then
at
you
me.
have kind of like and I'm kind of waiting. I'm like, okay, wait. It's like an open verse. It's like I'm waiting for another artist to come in. And I'm like, hold on. Hey, when is he coming back in? Is he gonna come in here? And then you come in with your hook, but your hook's so late that I'm like, well, I just wish that happened right away. So I kind of would up. Yeah, exactly, Erica. I'm a fan. So like bring if your hook in the intro is here, all the whispers in that hook, bring the whispers and the hook back in right here. Maybe the whiskers, goodness gracious. Maybe the whiskers can be a little bit quieter. Maybe the whispers can be a little bit quieter right here. You don't want to be like muddy and noisy, but make it a bigger part of the production structure. And then go straight back to the hook, but make it powerful. Make it like stack it up with the hook melody that you have right here. So as soon as I get the beauty inside of the pain, whatever the lyrics are, you get a nice big punch right there, and then get a stack of vocals left and right, center nice and strong right here at the end that has that hook, right? So
the beauty inside of the beast. I find the beauty inside of the beauty, but never find beauty when staring at me.
I see fall to fire. I'll push on you, die, oh no. I'll I feel on. You bring it down. I boom boom. So what you do is you just do a double hook right there, and then the vocal sample in the background built into the beat just becomes another layer to it. You know, it just stacks your dynamics a little bit more. You're stair-stepping your dynamics, and it feels way more interesting. I would just do a double hook. That's way more catchy. You get the hook in the intro of the song. You get familiarity from having a double hook in the middle of the song stacked with the vocal sample. So it immediately feels so much more interesting, so much more engaging to listen to. But if you just have a gap in the music right there, you'll lose people. They'll be halfway through a song and skip. You know, they'll just be like, nothing else is interesting here. There's no new information, like no new beneficial information to the song. A lot of people will just move on. We got short attention spans, and there's a lot of good music out there, right? So we got to find reasons why people stay. And so I would, in creative and non-noisy, busy, annoying ways, find ways to like maintain their attention. So what I would do is I would do big verse at the intro right there. So you get your hook early on, big intro verse, go straight into a hook, double that hook with the vocal sample, straight back into a verse. That's consistent lyric structure. That's a polished format. You're getting repetition like a real record, like a real song from start to finish. There's no gaps in it. There's no voids of like, low energy moments in the song. That feels so much more polished as far as structure goes. That's way more important to me than the mix. The mix matters, does, of course, but that is way more important to me than the mix. Okay, let me move on.
We don't get along. All of these voices, they playing around. All of these voices, they need to come out. They need to come out.
Okay, just really, and then this is the last thing I'll say, and then we'll move on to Brett's song to close this out today. Last thing I'll say, you have like a decent, there's two things that are happening really, I'll try to be brief. I'm not very brief, but I'll try to be. Similar to one of the last songs that we heard, actually Erica's song, similar to Erica's song, you're getting some pumping in your mix from your like limiting and your compression on your master, right? So you have a 2-track, so you just have the beat. You have the beat and you have your vocals layered over the top of it. What's happening is on like your master or on the beat itself, every time that like the bass cuts in, you're hearing the vocal dip back in the mix a little bit. So the beat kicks in, the bass is nice and heavy, the vocal gets suppressed and gets pushed down. And then as soon as the bass leaves, you get the vocal up by like 2 or 3 dB, right? So just back off of that. You can keep it really, really simple. Yeah, I'm not very brief. I try to be, but I'm not. I've done pretty good today, y'all. I've done pretty good. Yeah, try to mix is so hard for me. It's just a learned skill, man. It's just a learned skill. And I'm not saying you're horrible at all. You're not like, it's not a terrible mix or anything like that. For me, mixing, and even like, so I'm trained in studio, right? So I spent 2.5 years at a private mentorship in a studio, learning live sound, studio tracking bands, being a runner, like doing all this stuff. I actually did get training in studio, and I still sucked when I got out of there. I still like left the studio into the real world, taking on clients, 13 years ago at this point, taking on clients. I still sucked, right? You have to put in repetition. There's nothing, no matter how trained you are, you can go to Crash, you can go to Full Sail, you can do all this stuff. Nothing beats mixing 1,000 songs. You know what I mean? So don't feel like down on yourself or discouraged that like things haven't happened yet, or like that you've done a couple songs, or even like 30 songs or 40 songs or something, and it still doesn't really sound right. You just got to do a lot more. You need to learn. You can't just do it without learning. So like some people just like, dude, yeah, I've been mixing for 10 years. I'm like, well, it doesn't sound like it. You still need to adapt. You still need to grow. You still need to get better at your craft and keep learning. But if you are learning, if you are getting better at what you do, then you just put in some repetition. So like the next song that you do is going to be so much better than what you have now. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to continue to improve and evolve as you grow, but don't be afraid of repetition. Don't be afraid to have songs you never put out. Like don't put pressure on yourself. Like, hey, I made a song, I leased the beat. This has to be a song. Also, you've got to put in reps. You got to put in reps. And if you're going to put in reps, that gets expensive if you have weight on every song to be a record, right? If you're not producing for yourself. Eloon, thank you so much for hopping in over on the Purple app. If you do want submit, it's !submit. However, the line is this way. I'm backwards. The line is closed for today, but we'll probably be back on tomorrow afternoon. Thank you so much for tapping in, though. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, so yeah, Pop has no formal training, and you'll hear in a minute. Pop's a great. This is Brett Harrington over there. Brett is an amazing producer. He's a really, really talented vocalist and producer. Okay, but yeah, so that's one of the things I want you to work on, is just softening the effects that are happening, the processing that's happening on your master. Go subtle. If you go to a compressor on your master and you see 5 dB of reduction, bring it back up to 2. And if it's too loud, feed into it quieter, right? So if you're like, man, if I don't compress too much, it's clipping and it's distorting, then lower your vocal, lower your beat, 5 dB a piece or whatever, bring everything down away from the limitations, bring everything away from the limitations of your processing so that you're not clipping, you're not over compressing, you're not, really over saturating on an emulation of a vintage plugin or something like that. Like keep everything a little bit more calm, bring everything down a bit, and then going into those plugins, bring your threshold up to you're only getting like a max of 2 dB of compression. You just glue everything together and get it loud on the master and you'll be fine. You don't have to do anything past that. Okay, let's get into, and then last thing, and then we'll get into Brett's song. Just vocal, really, really quick. Your vocal, Young Sino, thank you so much for the follow. On your vocal, again, pretty good performance, good emoting. Like, again, you're very confident on the microphone, so I appreciate that. On the mixing side, just for 2 seconds, the only thing that I would concern yourself with is just on the EQ side, pretty smooth on the compression. Again, you're getting pumping on the master. That's part of what's limiting your vocal like expression and it feeling dynamic, because nothing can jump out of the mix because it's all just getting squashed down by your master. But on your vocal, I would just, it sounds like you're high passing and then reducing some of the mud between like 100 and 400 hertz, 100 and 300 hertz ish, kind of right in that range. If you're pulling a lot of that out in order to pull the mud out of the vocal, just don't go too far. Your vocal will get kind of thin and tinny, and then you'll lose a lot of like the actual like body and presence behind the vocal that makes you feel it, right? So just be careful of that. If at 1 to 300 hertz in that pocket, you have a nice little bell curve, and it's pulling some energy down, just reintroduce a little bit more of that energy back into the mix. So between 100 and 300 hertz. If it's boomy, pull it down, but be very, very tasteful with it. If it sounds a little bit thin, which in this case, to me, it's a hair thin, I don't get a lot of body and presence from the vocal, just reintroduce some of that back in very, very lightly, maybe another dB or 2 dB at that frequency pocket to regain some warmth and some body in the vocal. How do you do that and prevent the volume being gone? Raising the thresholds is what you're talking about. If you have a good balance to your track, right? So if you're talking about just like getting loudness, right? Getting loudness at the end of the day. If you have a decent balance to the mix, just decent, not even fantastic, but a decent balance to your mix, and you have a well compressed vocal, a good clean track. Most of these 2 tracks that you're leasing, they're already mastered. You don't really need to do a whole lot to them unless it was a horrible producer. They should be decent. They should be fine. You can do some little pocketed things to keep it controlled. You can carve some space for the vocal in the middle of the mix for it to sit right there. Biggie, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. But when it comes to just getting loudness, if you want to keep it as simple, again, you're working on GarageBand. If you want to keep it as simple and as clean as possible, and you're trying to increase loudness, get some control through your compression, right? So you raise that, you bring your beat back down, get it away from the threshold, so you're not doing necessary compression by 6 dB in order to control it. Because if you don't, it's clipping. Pull it away, so you're not even worried about the clipping. Compress it even, just really, really lightly at a low ratio, just to get like 2 dB of compression. Just glue. That's all you're doing. You're creating an umbrella for the track to sit under, so it all feels really cohesive and tight. That's it. You're not making a huge stylistic decision. 2 dB of compression-ish, right? Sometimes I don't even go that hard. Sometimes I use a Capitol Hills mastering compressor plugin typically on a lot of my masters, and I'm just kissing it like a dB to dB and a half. It's just glue. It's just control. If a hi-hat likes to pop out a little bit, or like the sub bass kicks in, it likes to inflate a little bit, it's just telling it to sit down. It's just kind of tapping in there and controlling, some of those transients and some of those dynamics so lightly. It's just glue. It's just kind of I'm coloring the signal lightly with the plugin that I'm using and controlling. And then if you want loudness, that's where you bring in your limiter. If you bring in a limiter at the very end of your chain right there, just set it at a ceiling of like -1 dB. Some people do -0.1. I usually typically do -1 on the limiter, and then you're just going to go to the loudest. Again, keeping this as simple as possible. This is not the way you should do it every time, but just you're starting out and you're just trying to keep it simple. Put a limiter at the end of your chain. This is where you're going to get your loudness from overall. This is where you're going to boost it to its limit at the loudest parts of your song. Go to the biggest part of your song, loop it for a moment, just get it in there. Throw a limiter at the end of your mastering chain, or your like final bus there. Throw a limiter on there. Put your ceiling at -1, and then lower your threshold on that. It could be the simplest. Like sometimes you can just do L1 from Waves, or if you're on GarageBand, they'll just have like a base stock limiter there somewhere. Just throw a limiter at the very end, -1 ceiling, and then lower the threshold until you get a max 2 dB of compression. If you do a lot more than that, you'll hear it break up. It's going to be a brick wall limiter. It's a brick wall limiter. So it's just if the signal hits it, it's going to just shatter it. It's just going to break it apart, right? So you're going to hear a lot of digital distortion and like harmonics that you don't necessarily want in there if you go past that. So just lower the threshold, slowly. Lower the threshold slowly till you're getting like a dB and a half, 2 dB of reduction at the loudest part of your song. And that should give you, if it's a halfway decent balance between everything else, it should give you a pretty good balance between everything. It should be pretty loud. When I do that, like when I'm doing my mixing, I'm not doing, generally speaking, unless the genre requires it. If I'm doing like progressive metal or an EDM track that I'm mixing or something like that, sometimes I'll push things a little bit harder. Like sometimes I'll take it, I'll soft clip it, and I'll really, really do a lot of stages of control and saturation to like make it a really, really loud mix so it can compete on platforms. But for the most part, when I'm done like balancing a production and a couple multi-tracks, and I'm balancing the mix for the most part, and I feed it into the mastering chain, a little bit of compression, maybe some light EQ curves, some saturation if it needs it, and then I go into the final limiter, and I just do that -1, bring down the threshold till I'm getting 2 dB, dB and a half, 2 dB. I'm usually at like -10 LUFS anyways. Like I just integrated right there, and I'm not even doing anything crazy. So it's very rare that I just like balance something, feed it into the master, and I'm like, I'm at -15. This isn't loud at all. It's going to be super quiet on platforms. Like if you have a halfway decent mix, halfway decent balance, it's not even crazy. It's just not like a super inflated low end that's throwing everything off. you should be able to feed it into that limiter, get it loud, just read your thresholds, read your gain reduction, and make sure that you're not overdoing it or underdoing it. Make sure that it is catching it and controlling it, and you're pushing your loudness as much as you can. And you should easily be getting -10, -12, even if you're not optimized. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Y'all show some love. Hey, thank you, Zion. It's so good to see you. Thank you so much for hopping in, man. It's good to see the family in the chat. Good to see you, bro. I appreciate you being here. All right, y'all, we got to close it out with Brett Harrington. Brett is an amazing artist, so y'all hang on for this artist. This is a really, really talented producer, but y'all please show some love to Sober Opium. Show some love to Sober Opium, man. You're talented. You're a great lyricist, man. I think if you polish structure and make some changes to the mastering structure, I think you're going to be in a great spot, Sober. I'm excited to hear more from you. I'm excited to see and hear your growth as an artist for one, as a lyricist for one, but also as a self-engineer, right? And someone who's like building out your structure more and more, getting even away from leasing and getting some control over your production, working with some dope producers for free even that will take points and build a catalog with you. I think you're in a really good spot, man. This is a great chance for you to grow and really take control of what you're doing, man. So shout out to you. Brett Harrington, let's see where we're at. I think that might have gone to spam. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see, Brett. When is it going to go? I see. Wait, did you send it? Did you send in the track? I'm not seeing it right. Oh yeah, no, sorry. I had to scroll up and mix here. Okay, we got it. Yeah, we got it, Brett. You're good. I was like, well, hold on. Why is it not showing up? All right, this is Thinking About You by Brett Harrington. So let's dive in, y'all. This is our final track of the day. Shout out to Brett. Thank you so much for sending this in, man. I appreciate it a lot. This is Thinking About You by Brett Harrington. Oh shit, it's going. I did not know it was going to start on its own. You know the deal, Brett, better than anybody. Give me all of the details. Talk to me about the structure of the song. Talk to me about where you're at with it, because I know sometimes you're doing some early demos with certain drums and then switching it and blah, 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 right back and forth. So this is just me, an easy drummer. Let's get into it. All you on guitar and everything too, right? Appreciate you, Caroline.
I'm still here. I just can't wait to have you near. We'll laugh and play without a care. The sun will shine, shine everywhere. Maybe I'm going crazy, but what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. I've been sad since you've been gone, but I'll be glad when I get home. The wait is long, but not for good. We'll be together the way we should. Maybe I'm going crazy, but what am I supposed to do? I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking.
Something is funny in the drums. I hear it. I was going to address it just when we get into the breakdown. Hop over to the Red app. Hop over to the Red app and see if you're hearing it there too. Might be something in your export. Not sure, but yeah, there's something. There's like some phase collapse on the drums. Something like that. Some kind of like warbling and aliasing or something interesting on the drums. It's a little funky there. Hop over there and see. Hop over to the Red app because it's uncompressed over there. Let me know where you're over and I'll start playing it again. Red app being YT, if you know what I mean. Thinking about you. There he is. I think, right? Is that Brett in the chat? Hard on fishing. Hilarious name. Hilarious name. How do you get clients? I would just word of mouth, referrals constantly, social media, sometimes even through the stream. People come in at the end of, at the stream, I'll mention, what I do and stuff like that too. But yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. So a lot of times it's just word of mouth of just people that have, I did an album for a client last year. And through that album, I got, them putting it out there and asking who engineered it. I got like 3 clients from that, doing these live streams every day too. I'll work on projects usually earlier in the day where I'm working on like session work, tracking synths for someone, tracking drums for someone or guitar or whatever it may be. And then I'll post clips of it. I'll post clips of me doing the synths. And then, that will come back in and stuff like that. How long does it take you to mix? It depends on the structure of the song. If it's like an easy, like single vocal, not too many layers, and like a 2-track, it could be like 3 hours or something like that, 3 or 4 hours, depends, like if it's pretty simple. But it really depends. I mean, I had a song last year that was like 140 tracks. It was like a choir and a bunch of vocals and stuff like that. That one took me, because of revisions, because of like going back and forth with the artist and stuff. That one took a couple weeks to finish, just because we're doing a lot of different stuff. But it really just depends, and also depends on the time getting to a mix, depending on like my client list. Like right now, I think there's like 5. I got like 5-6 people that are in my rotation that are in line right now that I'm currently building up productions for and mixing for, and then that just keeps cycling. New people come in, those people leave and stuff like that. So how much do you charge for it? Do you have it posted? Shoot me a message, Erica, and then we can talk about like the budget timeline, stuff like that. Shoot me a message either on TikTok or on Instagram, and then we can get you all of the details offline too. So that way I can get the actual details of what you need mixed and so on and so on. Okay. The line is closed, KFPO. Line is closed. This is our last one. But I'll be live probably tomorrow. Yeah, I would love to chat with you about the structure, budget, timeline, things like that, and see if there's any way that I can help you or refer you to someone else depending on budget and stuff like that too. But KFPO, we'll be live again, I think tomorrow. I'm pretty sure tomorrow. Okay, and so yeah, let me know. Yeah, Brett, we're live on this app and the T app, the purple app, and on TikTok. We're live on 3 platforms all at the same time. In fact, if you'll ever want to watch the VODs, if you ever want to go and reference the whole stream back, all of these are saved to the Track Talk live stream playlist on this red app right here too. So you can see every single live stream from there. I can do so. I do, Erica, I do offline consultations too. That would be the teaching part. So I have a couple different artists and producers and like younger engineers or newer engineers rather, that they just hire me for like by the hour, like an hour, 2 hours, offline. In order to like help them learn Pro Tools or help them like just learn how to balance and mix a little bit better, or just like take instead of these consultations, like take like 4 or 5 of their songs on an EP and just dig into them for 2 hours and be able to talk back and forth on Zoom or on a video call or Discord or something like that, where I can actually hear you and it's a little bit more efficient that way. So there's a couple people that I work with, each week, where we just do like some offline consultations as well. That can be a little bit more efficient for a lot of people as well. Let me know, Brett, let me know if this sounds better.
Stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you.
The audio is definitely better on the red app.
When I get you back, I won't let you go. You're gonna be stuck with me, I hope you know.
Perfect. Tone is so good.
Maybe I'm not so crazy.
Yeah, so much better.
After all, I sing about you in all my songs. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about
Not yet. I don't think it's released yet. Great riffs, man. Shoot me a message, Nate. Shoot me a message. We can talk about it. Let's go, man. Y'all, please give it up one time. This is my first song on my next album, and you're in album mode. He just released an album not that long ago, so definitely go show. So yeah, Nate, shoot me a message. That way we can talk a little bit. I'm moving pretty quick here. Yeah, shoot me a message. That way we can talk through some details and maybe talk through like what would best benefit you in any way that I can potentially help you. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some details. That's Thinking About You by Brett Harrington. Let's dive in. It's not finished yet. Oh wait, you did put out the last album though, right, Brett? Am I remembering that correctly? I just want you to check out the song, see what you think. Okay, cool. Yeah, 100%. I was like, wait, your last album's out though, right? The one that yeah. Y'all please go check out Brett Harrington. You can go see his stuff on all platforms. He's an amazing artist, really talented. He produces all his stuff too, mixes all of his stuff. Those are his amazing vocals. Really talented artist. So man, if you like classic rock, you like 70s, 80s aesthetic, you're gonna like what you hear. He's a solid musician. Guitar tone always blows my mind. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into the details here. I'm hearing something a little bit Before I Die. Yeah, 100%. This one, the one that we're hearing here that's unreleased, is called Thinking About You. Really quick, there's something I'm hearing in the drums. It might be a double sample on the snare that's coming in with a boom, cut, like a double hit on the snare, that it might be causing some weird phasing. Let me hear it from the intro real quick. Yeah, do you have a double hit? Or do you have two samples hitting right there on the snare? Like just even in MIDI, like I know you're using, I think Get Good drums, right? If I'm remembering correctly, or I forget. Yeah, I think you said it earlier. But it kind of sound supposed to be a flam. Yeah, it's so. I think what's happening is it's so close. I get exactly what you're doing, and I admire it so much because it's hard to do with VST sometimes to create like a nuanced drum texture. Easy Drummer to create like a nuanced drum structures with a VST. I think it's too close. It's too close where you're still, because it's an exact sample replication, really close together. So you're getting some phasing right there and some weird kind of collapse in the drums that I don't hear later on. I don't hear it later on when you open up the drums more. It actually ends up sounding better. But early on, here in this intro, where you want that flam, you want that, that double on the snare that's really tight. It's too close. So you probably just need to take all of these first like 8 hits or whatever from the drums and shift them by a millisecond. To just create a little bit more separation right there, because I do think it's causing some kind of, you can hear it in the middle or in the beginning right here, where it feels a little phasey here. It's kind of warbled a little bit. It sounds a little bit kind of modulated. That's what I'm hearing. And I was like, wait, hold on. Is that collapse right there? Is it supposed to be wider? So listen for that and see if you can separate it a little bit. Makes it sound a lot more digital. I hear it a little bit there too. Does it go straight through? Yeah, this is the last one. I'm about to close it up. Does it go straight through right there? Does it go, is it still flams right there? AJ, we're closed for tonight. This is our last song of the night, and then we're going to be back on tomorrow afternoon probably. So if y'all are in here and you are wanting to submit and you're just hanging out in the background, just make sure that you're following. AJ, thank you so much. I appreciate that follow. And if you are wanting to submit, we'll open up the lines again tomorrow afternoon most likely, and we'll take another handful of consultations there. Just in the intro bar, okay. Do you hear it? There's something in the background of the. It could just be the snare sample or something like that, but there is a little bit of like, it almost sounds kind of like aliasing, kind of like some restriction, suppression on the high frequencies right there. It's so close, but I'm almost curious if you can switch out that drum sample to maybe something a little bit different. There's something about the way that it's like interacting with the hats, or maybe the way that those doubles hit in the intro and the way it transitions in here, where those snares feel a little warbled. They feel like there's like a little bit of modulation on them. And it just makes them feel a little bit more digital, and they are, of course. Yeah, I would, as I'm listening to it, it just, you get a more digital VST dry feel. And of course, you can expand this a little bit. You could probably add a stereo aux with a gated reverb on it to give it that big 80s feel that feels really, really solid and really open. But in this context, I would not mind you switching out the snare sample. It feels a little modulated. It feels a little digital. It sounds like kind of like the old Roland TD10s a little bit, TD12s. I used to have an electric kit. Kind of sounds like that. And so it's like I can tell that it's not a real drum set. And of course, even if you're sequencing drums, you don't necessarily want it to sound like that. So I would maybe switch it up for like a sharper, more like mid forward, snappy rock snare, and then make some adjustments to your flams early on to get a little bit more separation and timing. I think it would serve the song a little bit better. Just so everything else, I don't mind. The toms sound fine. Like, I think kick and hat, they're kind of snappy and bright and a little clicky, but I don't mind it. I think they work fine, but you could do some polishing in the drum structure. Mainly listening for production, or song structure here though, because I know that's one of the main reasons why you're here too. But I thought I'd bring it up since I could hear it. Like, sounds a little phasey.
I'm still here. I just can't wait to have you near. We'll laugh and play without
Great
a
vocals, man.
care.
Great vocals.
The sun will shine, shine everywhere. Maybe I'm going crazy, but what am I supposed to do? I can't stop. I can't stop. I can't stop thinking about you.
Great hook structure here. Great tag at the end. Yeah, all of this sounds really, really good. I just wanted to address that intro.
I'm thinking about you. I can't stop.
Great interlude. I mean, your counter melodies are so like, you have your like main underlick that's kind of like the riff that's driving the whole song, but your counter melodies are beautiful in between those vocals. So I mean, it's just great production structure. You're killing it.
Thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. I've been sad since you've been gone, but I'll be glad when I get home. The wait is long, but not for good. We'll be together the way we should. Maybe I'm going crazy, but what am I supposed to do?
Great. Yeah, really, really good balance on your hook here too. I'm excited for you to build out the structure of this a little bit more. I would love to hear, I think right now, because some of your drum structure too is so bright, right? It's really, really open. There's not a lot of contrast from you switching from your open hi-hat, for most of your verses are open hi-hat, to there's a tambourine, like a 16th tambourine on the left side, and then opening up to the right on the right side, right? So you do switch drum structure slightly, but there's not a really, really broad dynamic range shift right there. I'm curious if we can't rebalance that a little bit. I'm kind of curious, honestly, if you just switch kits. You know what I mean? I think right now, I would love to hear a little bit more like, not even just an EQ and like saturation and stuff. I would love like a warmer, like maple drum kit. You know what I mean? Like a warmer, darker sound that still has a lot of life and snap to it. I think right now it's so bright, and even like the samples themselves, not even just EQ, but the samples themselves, because I know it's not mixed. I'm not worried about that. The sample itself is so open that there's not really a big transition between like open hi-hat and crashes and tambourine and ride. The dynamics feel like they jump a little bit, but they're like very consistent. They're really, really close. And so I feel like your transitions going to your hook beyond vocal layering, which is awesome, by the way, really, really well done. Doesn't feel incredibly dynamic. There's not a huge shift in dynamic range going from your verse to your hook. And I would love for it to feel like really, really shifted, like maybe bringing in another double track of a lower, you have a higher like higher inversion of your chord, I think, going up like higher power chord for the guitar,
I can't stop. I can't
like these like high picked patterns on the guitar with the inversions, beautiful harmonics there. I love the tone of the guitar. I think what you could also do, this two things to me would like transform the way this sounds. A different kit, it's a little warmer, a little snappier, a little bit more punch in the mids. I think that would sound great for these drums. And then leave the high lead guitars that you have in there, and then going into the hook, bring in like a low power chord underneath, even if it's like a picked power chord, kind of following the progression, that's like an octave lower or an inversion lower underneath that lead guitar. that you double track left and right as well, because it's just very bright, right? So you have a high lead guitar, the vocals go higher, the drums are really bright. You're losing a lot of body, like you're losing a lot of presence in the low mids and the mid frequencies, and we need to fill that out for this to feel really, really powerful, as you know from so many of the other songs that you've produced. So I would consider at the very least taking an inversion of your power chord down for a double track guitar underneath it, and then maybe a different kit. Those two things right there, to me, that shifts dramatically the way that this sounds, and then adjusting your flams a little bit.
When I get you back, I won't let you go. You're gonna be stuck with me, I hope you know.
I would love, since this is your last line before your solo, I would also love, "Know that you go." I would love to hear like,
You know.
I want to hear the transition.
You're gonna be stuck with me, I hope you know.
I would love to hear the kind of like the fifth up there, or like the third major. You go, and then like throw away at the top. At the very top register there, throw that away with a bunch of reverb, and then go straight into your guitar solo right there. Give like a big build of dynamics. Your dynamic range is higher, right? So you have this big buildup of energy off the straight up to like the 7/8 at the very, very top right there. So you're gonna hit that's the A to the B flat. A, B flat, right up there at the top. You have the 7 going straight into the 8, gives you a ton of energy with that phenomenal voice that you have, transitioning right into your guitar solo, super, super dynamic, and it just kind of opens up the song right there at the end. Going off the major is cool though too. Going off the A, so you get this nice little F major right there in the bottom. I think that'll feel like a really, really high tension moment leading into the solo. Love this, love it, love it, love it.
Maybe I'm not so crazy, crazy after all. I sing about you in all my songs.
Let's go. Synthesis is great too. Low stab is beautiful.
I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, when I hear those do 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 do, I mean, it's very like Phil Collins. It's very 80s, like early 80s, late 70s, classic rock and roll. You switch that kit, you add some gated reverb on there, it's over. It's that straight late 70s, early 80s sound design. Like it's so good. We just got to switch the kit. It's too thin. Even like when I hear those toms, ding 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 ding, we need some weight. We needed a big fat gated reverb on there, set in a room. We needed, we need some energy behind it. You switch out those drums, you're already so much farther ahead. And to double track on the rhythms. Yeah. Beautiful. Real drum kit on. Ooh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You already know what to do. You know what to do. Y'all show some love. That's Brett Harrington. If you haven't heard Brett Harrington, you can find it. Drop the album again in the chat, Brett, so that people can see. That is "Thinking About You" by Brett Harrington. Phenomenal artist. Phenomenal. He produced all of that too. He's an incredible musician, songwriter, and vocalist. Definitely tap in with Brett. Always appreciate any chance that we get to hear your music. So please show some love and support. Go stream his music on all platforms as well. And that's going to call it for today, y'all. We're going to hop on. John Castillo's in the building. John, thanks for tapping in. I will probably be live again tomorrow afternoon. I'm most likely going to take Sunday off just to rest my ears and take a little bit of a break. So if y'all are here in the background of the chat, maybe you're lurking on the outside on any of these platforms, just make sure that you're following so that you can be informed when we go live. live. You make sure you turn on live notifications, all that good stuff. Quick spiel before we hop off the live stream, and then we'll call it a day. Like I said, I'll be John will be back on tomorrow. We'll open up the lines again tomorrow. So definitely make sure that y'all are locked in. Make sure y'all are locked in. Get your revisions ready. Get your songs ready, and we'll open up the lines again tomorrow for consultations again. It'll be afternoon for sure. Afternoon, if not evening. If I do go live, I just got to make sure that I'm taking breaks from projects as well and resting my ears, because if I'm not on live, I'm also just still working on music. So it's a lot of ear stuff. So you got to take some breaks too. But anyways. For those of you who don't know, as we close up the live here, like once again, make sure that you're following here on TikTok. Make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube and Twitch as well. Those are the other platforms that we're live on here. Make sure that you're tapped in over there. That is where the full stream is, where you can see the line, the DAW, the studio, and stuff like that. So that will definitely help out as far as like seeing the order and the minimums and stuff like that as we go through the live stream. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. It's what I've done for the last 13 plus years. I'm also a classically trained musician. So if you are ever interested in a full production build out, full production package, session work, we got live drums, guitars, acoustic, electric, bass guitars, synths are my favorite thing to structure. My favorite thing to track is synthesis. So I have a whole bunch, I've got like 13, 14 synths in here. I love synths. So if you ever need synths, please hire me for synths. And I also, of course, do mixing and mastering engineering as well. That's what I've done for 13 plus years. That's what I'm trained in studio as well as an audio engineer. So if you ever need a mixing and mastering engineer, please tap in, shoot me a message on Instagram, on TikTok, or you can reach out through the contact form at theobsidiankey.com. Get in touch. We'll talk about your budget, your timeline, etc., and hopefully work on building out a beautiful record for you. So I love y'all. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all are amazing. Thank y'all for your vulnerability and sending your music. I appreciate it so much. Thank you for the likes, the shares, your generosity with your gifts and stuff like that. Y'all are amazing. So I appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully we'll see some of y'all tomorrow. If not, Brett, I appreciate you. So I want to be Torvik when I grow up. I want to be Brett. Yeah, y'all need to go check out. Brett is crazy. Brett is he's got the aesthetic. He's got it down. Libby and I are always joking with Brett. He's got the aesthetic. It's crazy. Go check out Brett. Brett Harrington's fire. I want to be Brett when I grow up. But anyways, y'all, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all so much. Hopefully we'll be able to tap in with y'all very, very soon. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening.